pop in here. He's been trying, I've been trying to get Dan on for a minute. I'm trying to get Noah on for a minute because they're both big cigar guys, but they're in the Great White North, and it's apparently under frozen siege pretty much all the time. So.
It's a disaster.
Dan, where are you?
New York City. I'm in Staten Island.
Oh, okay.
Staten.
I hear it now.
Bridge and tunnel folk like the rest of us.
What?
I said bridge and tunnel folk like the rest of us.
Yeah, that's it. Billy, that Amazon is gone.
Is it?
Yeah, somebody grabbed it up just now, actually.
Wasn't meant to be.
I know.
How many Amazons you got now, Dan?
That was the last one.
Oh, did you sell them all?
Yeah, I did. They were just a little too snappy for me. They're a little.
Yeah, they're not very. They're not a cuddly group.
Now they're gorgeous, but just not my thing.
What's up, Jean?
Gorgeous with no personality.
They'll strike at you upside down. It's the weirdest thing you've ever seen.
What's happening, y'all?
What's up, Matt?
So do I have to sign up to be a part of the chat thing?
What chat thing?
Thing on the side?
No, go to his live comments.
Okay.
I don't know. It should have. I was going to say it should have you log in via your YouTube or something. It may not be available on mobile too. If you're on your phone, I don't think you can see the chat.
No, I'm on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
I got the command post all set up in here.
Look at that.
You guys are set up on a 6-foot ladder right now.
What's funny is I posted the gorilla video this morning on Instagram, and Mateo was like, he's like, look, it's Justin in the wild. Hilarious. So we're back in Spain.
And there's Noah.
Hey.
What's up, gentlemen?
So,
He's on the Padrone.
He's on the skinny screen.
Oh God, Dan.
I said you were on a ladder.
I saw it. Yeah, he wasn't bullshitting.
I'll be set up in a second. We're all good. Okay.
Want to get a little excited.
So I was talking to Hen Dog this morning about because he's perpetually trying to get the perfect King Cobra ecosystem indoors, and we were just.
Somebody works on getting me the perfect King Cobra article.
I know, but I was pitching him Sean, and now he's been texting me about MP Cages and Exotics because of how awesome it is. That's him right now.
I wonder where is Sean ain't in here yet. I bet you Sean will pop in at any moment.
What's up, Dom?
Speaking of which. I
want to hear that story Phil was talking about when I popped up.
Classified.
I heard carpet, so I need to hear this.
And we were talking about picking out area rugs.
Yeah.
I heard enough of it to know that's not what you're talking about.
Do you go straight Persian, or are we leaving the Turks alone? Do we go with area
DNA testing unrelated to anything in the U.S.? I heard too much.
You did. You heard too much. Good job.
Okay, that's how it is. Okay.
We'll have an editors conference later.
Fair enough.
That's not fair.
Sorry, Dan. Sorry, Noah.
Right.
In due time, gentlemen. In due time.
Imbricata.
Ooh, okay.
Definitely.
I just want inlands.
I could not keep that a secret at all. If I magically teleported them into North America, I could not keep that a secret.
That'd be hard.
It would be incredibly hard. I would just send individual scale pictures until everyone just put all the pictures together.
No, if you wanted to be real sneaky, you'd automatically outcross into a jungle or something and be like, yeah, I don't know. It just said randomly, it was just something cool I produced, and let the cat out of the bag 10 years later and everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they would lose their fucking minds is what they would do.
That would be a damn shame.
They would, legit.
I had a pair. They died after I crossed into jungles and coastals.
Oh, God. It's like that one customs I had rubber tubing as a belt.
50% imbricatas. Oh, that'd be heartbreaking.
So Dan's tiger carpet was in the magazine. If anybody's looked at the magazine yet, which I doubt a lot of people have, because it just hit this earlier today.
I flipped through it. I did.
I glanced through it. I skimmed it.
Yeah. Billy's like, yeah, I glanced through it.
I'll be honest. I actually.
He asked me to take a bunch of pictures, so I'm taking it outside. It's raining. I took 100 pictures of the snake, and then he took the one on paper.
Well, it's like, there's a picture of me in there with a bucket of green iguanas. I'm like, wow, that's the picture he used. But all right, it works.
That's probably my favorite one out of the whole thing.
That's what people are actually telling me.
Brennan, my man.
I flipped through it initially because I want to see Justin's layout with the new program and all that, and it just looks phenomenal. It does.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I've been having to adjust it each issue though, because when I go to print, I notice I work with the margins they tell me to work with for the inside of the spine, but I still find even if I keep it too close to that, I have to give it twice the space I usually give it, because some of that text gets real deep into that, and you have to really flatten it out to read it. So I'm slowly adjusting. I put one out and then I get it printed and I see what needs to change, and then trying to make it professional.
So far, so good, my friend.
And then I get my hands on the physical copy and I tear it to shreds in my mind, because I'm this is bullshit.
You'll figure it out.
But Noah did an awesome Northern Pines article, which was really cool. I actually had a lot of fun laying that one out.
Phenomenal pictures, bro. Kudos to your animals.
Thank you. Yeah, they're one of my favorites.
Awesome specimens.
Yeah, pits are awesome.
Yep, American grown.
And he's got the Subox.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
There's a pair on fauna right now, man. There's a pair on fauna right now that is really nice.
What are you looking at?
I'm just looking. I ain't buying anything anytime soon. I got to produce some stuff and sell some stuff before I do anything else.
I
like the blondes also.
What's that, Noah?
Blondes and the black gaps. The black gaps are phenomenal.
Yeah, there's a silver on I think King Snake right now, and the silvers, that's the thing that really does it for
blonde,
me.
Yeah, not too many. You don't see those colors too often, Silver blonde.
But there is a really nice blonde. Yeah, there's a really nice blonde on fauna right now. There's a pair of guys selling for 600. Both are het albino, I think, or het snow, and I don't know. They're both really nice snakes, but those silvers, man, those are really hard to beat.
Yeah, they're not the easiest to breed. They breed really late. I'll probably pair up July for those.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Henry just texted me and basically said that tell mom he'll get his article when I finish my study. And his study is he's secretly I'm not gonna totally blow my word. He's secretly working with some international individuals on scalation of king cobras in terms of determining sex and individual species. So I think he doesn't want to do the article until either A, we basically pester him enough to do it, or B, he has enough data to make it Nipper style. You know what I mean?
Oh, wait.
Oh.
You didn't have to stop. You didn't have to stop in the middle there.
Look at that
What's
back.
going on?
I
fucked it up. I didn't know it'd go widescreen.
I sent him the link and said, "Get your ass in here," and here he is.
What's up, Joe?
Nothing. I was gonna go to sleep like a normal person at a normal hour, but Justin messaged me, and shit.
You got me to call.
You don't not show up. And plus, I saw Dan Colgan was on. So.
Mm-hmm.
It's 9 o'clock, dude. What are you talking about? Go to sleep.
Dude, at 10, you got to wind down a little bit. I can't just be up
got
fucking
this much
around.
time. This much
That
time.
seems like a long time.
That's an hour and a half.
Hey, Justin, there's no way that we can turn up Noah and Dan because, like, at all.
I think I can turn them off.
Um,
I can mute them.
now, don't mute them. I can't read lips worth of shit.
Especially with a cigar.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. It's a full crew, boys. Full crew.
It is, yeah.
Well, if in case I missed it, what's everybody smoking?
Yeah, let's go round robin again.
Are we going clockwise? Start with Dan. He's got
Dan?
Aging room Quattro.
Good cigar.
very good. I haven't had one of those in a hot minute. It's been a couple years since we had them.
I got the Padron 64 because it's a special occasion. Not the 26 worthy, but 64.
Yeah,
I got the
64.
natural.
64 is where it's at, man.
It's a lot more affordable.
I don't know what any of you guys are talking about, but I respect
Come on,
it.
Joe. Come on. You got nothing? You got nothing?
Nothing.
Sad.
Nothing.
I've had the 62s, and there was something about the 62s I just didn't like. They had a weird taste. So I mean, I'm a 64 guy, anyways. Yeah, I don't know what it was, dude.
Dude, 64 is literally like, not to sound like a bougie wino, but like the 64 is the perfect like nightcap smoke. Or like
I'd agree with that. Yeah,
especially in natural. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Padron rolls all their stuff so loosely. I feel like you light it up and it's gone in 20 minutes. You know.
Billy, what are you sipping on right now, by the way? That's Billy. That's our boy.
Hey.
I am smoking.
Everybody probably thinks I'm an alcoholic. That's all you guys talk about.
Because it's funny, man. It's because he's so somber and like cool, calm, and collective with a handle of fucking cracking. But I am smoking a $3.95 Hialeah special, hand rolled in Dade County, and it has no
nothing but the best.
What's that? Nothing but the best. Yeah.
I'm smoking a Liga Profada number 9.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong there.
Double Toro, Corona Doble, whatever they want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a freaking Toro, dude.
Yeah.
No, actually, this is like the trick show. Yeah, this is the double Toro. Yeah, this is the bigger one.
Yeah, that's their straight Corona, right? It's like a Mosto on steroids.
It's like a 54.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Billy and Joe are so lost right now.
That's all right. That's all right.
This jargon is almost as bad as snakes, man. Like,
we sound like a bunch of chondro guys right now.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking a different language.
Justin, when are you going to launch your Bane and Dart Frog YouTube channel?
My what?
Your Bane and Dart Frog channel.
I don't know.
It's going to be a podcast.
Dude, Jake has talked me off the ledge repeatedly about a Dart Frog podcast, and
I'm surprised you haven't done it yet.
I don't feel like I'm proficient enough in them to be able to speak, like to be able to. I don't know, like I haven't had darts that long, so.
Yeah, but still, I mean, like we all grow, we all feed off each other, so it's all good shit. And if you want to talk about like a unique language, like that's like fucking Gaelic, especially to a snake for me.
Yeah, I don't know shit about dart frogs.
I know they're adorable.
Yeah, I like the bigger frogs.
They are awesome.
And Jean, I did not look at the Bothrops because, to be brutally honest, I completely forgot. So now I'm going to. Thank you for reminding me.
Phil is really, really upset about this whole Trimeresurus being named after a Harry Potter character. Or not character, but
what?
I guess it is a character.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So it wasn't so much the fact that it was named after a Harry Potter character. I think the concept of naming it something fun, something memorable, something that people can relate to is great for spreading knowledge and awareness and overall knowledge. I mean, getting people to like snakes, getting people to see more and learn more about snakes and learn more about the ecology of our great world. What bothers me is when certain mainstream media outlets, i.e., CNN, National Geographic, blah, 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 when you click the article, half the time it's not even a picture of the correct specimen. And secondly, it's all about fucking Harry Potter and the story of where this guy in the fictional character got his name from and why he's relative to the book series and blah, 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 blah. And then at the very bottom, it's like, yeah, it was found by, Bob and John in, Boobaloo, India. And it's like, that's not helpful at all. What the hell? Like, there's no link to the taxonomic journal. There's no link to more photos. There's no link.
What kind of normal civilian is going to read a taxonomic journal and be like, oh, yeah, totally, this is cool?
But forget.
I'll hardly read one of those.
Forget the link. It's the concept of.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the snake. It had everything to do with
less about the snake and more about the backstory.
Correct. And it was just you, me, and Nipper are in our little group chat that he just made, and it's like we're up to three new snake species for 2020, and we've only been in for a couple months. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, they found a new species of sand boa for anybody that's.
Oh, I'm sorry. So that's 4 now, right? 4.
Wait, what was the third one?
So you've got
that bush, that Atheris,
you have
that
Atheris,
Trimeresurus,
Mongoensis, Trimeresurus, Harry
Salazar.
Potter. You've got the formerly known as Naja Christii, now known as Naja Nana, which is phenomenal. It's just that needed to happen. I'm sorry, I'm sick of people talking about Christii, and the boa.
What about the spider they named after David Bowie?
I don't even know about that. What happened with that?
They named it they found a new species of huntsman or something a couple years ago. They named it after David Bowie.
No, that spider. I'm pretty sure that spider had sex with the Mick Jagger spider.
That'll happen.
They did rails of coke with each other in the bathroom back in 1982.
Yep. So I was very disappointed in the media outlets and the way that they went about it. It was more about the Harry Potter than it was about the snake. And I don't think that that's the right way to go about it.
I don't know. I don't really expect any more of them other than that, honestly.
It's for the general public. Nobody's going to read a snake article.
But at the same time, on the other side of that coin is some kid sees that and says, man, that snake's really cool, and then decides to look more into Trimeresurus and other stuff. And then they're like, wow, I actually like snakes a lot. I'm going to get...
You're right. And that's my good friend Chris.
Gateway.
Yeah, exactly. My good friend Chris.
I think that's the one.
Joe's a statue.
Yeah.
It's not often he just has. It's not often that he's like he doesn't have to do anything.
I know.
It's true.
He's
Yeah,
just enjoying the moment of just having to sit there.
You're watching me wind down right now.
I'm stoked to have Joe here because now I have another short guy in the group. I'm excited.
I mean, you didn't have to tell anyone that. It is online and no one would have known, but now everyone knows. That's cool.
I know what a snake from you. I kind of know.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're up your semi neighbors.
Megalopolis, right?
Yeah,
What?
Dan came out to a White Plains show that I was vending probably last year or so.
No,
Cool, man.
Only show I have close to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because I listen to you, Joe, or I listen to NPR guys, and I feel like everyone talks about White Plains, and I've never been there for a reptile show, but the best part about going to White Plains is if it's not a reptile show,
What's that?
getting the fuck out.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty, and now sometimes vendors don't even get parking spots. So I
Really?
need to come I need to get there before 7, not to set up, but just so I can get a parking spot. So I leave Philly at 3 in the morning and get there super early, and yeah, it's a whole thing. But it's a good show. I've never done spectacularly well, but that's the show that I grew up going to. So it always is kind of special when I get to actually vend it.
it is kind of funny because I remember you talking about how often you did it, and then you talk about how much it really isn't that great of a show, but you guys somehow still go every time.
Yeah, like monetarily, yeah, not the best. We actually do the best at our local show, which is kind of smaller in consideration, but it's still a nice show.
They have a little bit of everything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, really, but White Plains is really the premier show as far as breeders go. So I may not make a lot of money just competition wise because there's so many established breeders at that show. It's crazy.
Mike said you could have an Uber roll up, and you'd be like, "Okay, hold on, open your trunk. I got a bunch of stuff I got to put in there."
That's actually really funny when you like think deep about it. That's hilarious. Like
That'd be a good YouTube video.
you're right. You get an Uber for like 8 people, and like a panel van shows up, or like one of those little mini buses shows up, and it's like just like deli cups stacked.
Yeah, I'm lucky. Tampa's only like 15 minutes from me. So, I don't have to put any thought into it.
Yeah, you can
I have
go
family
home
in
and
St. Pete right there. So
St. Pete.
Nice.
I feel bad. Like I feel like Dan and Noah are saying stuff, and I keep missing it because I can't hear them too well, and I feel bad. So I apologize in advance if I like cut people off or whatever.
No, I'm not saying nothing right now.
Okay.
When are you breeding your subox?
Probably July. They go pretty late.
Keep me posted.
I shall.
So let me be the ignorant one in the group and ask about the whole bug eye thing. So is that a naturally occurring just a thing, or is that like bred for genetic?
Yeah,
like,
no, they look stupid all the time.
I know it's adorable, but I didn't know if like they were bred to have bigger, buggier eyes, or if that's just
how they are.
I think it's an environmental thing. They have the bug eyes for whatever environmentally, I believe.
I don't know. I mean, the only thing I can think of is because they are sort of set maybe slightly higher on the top of the head, avian predators or whatever. Maybe they just adapted because they are in kind of a more open environment if you think about it.
Yeah.
They're there for a reason.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's right. Maybe we may not know what that reason is, but they're there.
Do you ever see eye cap issues because they're so large, or no?
I've heard of it, but I haven't experienced that though.
Okay. Interesting. How many do you have?
I got the blondes, and then I got the black caps. So I got 2 pairs.
Cool. Good.
Yeah.
Joe, how come you don't have subox?
I don't know. Just
How come you don't
I've
have
always.
bears?
I know both of those have eluded me. Both I'm interested in, but haven't gotten. Part of it is size. Just anything past the corn snake is kind of a pain for me right now.
Yeah.
But how long does it typically, Noah? How long does it take for them to get to breeding age?
It depends.
I'll say it's a little later than other species, I thought. You have to give them a little more time.
Yeah, they're pretty slow growing, and as far as rat snakes go, they kind of have a larger clutch size. So generally, I go on the go bigger, make sure they're bigger. So I probably go a year later than I could, but right around 4. You could probably go 3, but I go 4 years old generally for the females at least. So.
And do you need to actively keep humidity down or anything special for them?
Yeah, I generally keep them more air circulation than other stuff.
Yeah, I remember reading that in the book. Like they said, like they have to have a lot of ventilation. Like they do better if they have more airflow like that.
For sure, yeah. They're actually kind of high maintenance, really, as far as rat snakes go. I mean, they're not the easiest to breed, and they can be kind of picky getting started too out of the egg. But
I'm guessing natural lizard eaters.
I mean, initially they are, but a lot of that's bred out now. So occasionally I'll have to send, but they usually take pretty willingly out of the egg price.
Oh no, I gotta talk about Palmetto Bug Eyes right now.
Yeah, what's the deal? I mean, those are about as close to a suboc as you get. Without actually being one.
Yeah, and I mean, and we've seen things that are across rat snakes as far as say subox. I believe the A male or albino, I'm not sure what you guys call it, have like a bald patch in the middle of the head.
That depends on the line.
Right.
The ones with
right.
the bald patch are apparently European line albinos, and then like the U.S. line albinos don't have that.
But we also have like when you breed a corn snake, an A male corn snake to a emery rat snake, and then breed it back and get creamsicles, they have like a bald patch on them as well. So there's things that happen across species like that all the time. But and I mean leucism in general, right? You see a lot of effect of the eyes in ball pythons. I believe a small percentage have larger eyes, as well as Texas rat snakes are known also, the leucistics, to have larger eyes.
Yeah,
and so the palmetto is just an incomplete form of leucistic, so it's the same thing. It's the exact thing that tells the melanocytes. They basically direct where the black pigment's going to go, and they direct traffic all willy-nilly and throw it all over the place. And for whatever reason, that also controls how the eyes are formed. That's not like the most scientific way to explain it, but Travis Wyman, you can hear him on the podcast, actually say it with his
we still need to get him
smarter
on
words.
THP, man. I've talked to him multiple times about coming on THP, and we just haven't made it happen yet.
Yeah, do it. He's fascinating, man.
I got.
Does anybody have anything paired up right now? You guys?
There's a corn right in this tub right here. Why am I struggling with this so much? Oh my god.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got a pair in there?
No, there's a male that my dad found on their property the other day that I'm gonna probably hold on to and put it in my group. I think did I send you a picture of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
What's your process usually bringing them in, like as far as feeding and stuff goes?
I fed him 2 frozen thawed hoppers the other the night that I got him, and he ate them no problem.
And then you just kind of keep an eye on their poop and stuff like that.
Yeah, and he did that too, and it actually looks really, really healthy. So, it's really strange. Like you hear about mites and stuff and coming on imports. I've never found a mite on any of the corns. I mean, I have 4 corns. 2 of them I got when they were really, really small, like fresh out of the egg. This guy and then the other male I have, they're in that like yearling-ish size. They're probably older than a yearling because wild-caught snakes are obviously going to be probably older than they look. But I've never found a single mite on any of them. Like, I don't know. I'm probably gonna get some Panicure and put some through him. But I mean, I haven't had one refuse food either. Like I offer them frozen thawed right off the bat, and they're all over it.
Yeah, especially at that age.
I mean, that guy hit it hard too. He was all about it.
Dan, were you gonna say something, bro? Oh, I thought before we were getting to that. I'm just paranoid about the whole audio thing because like I can barely hear anybody, so I'm moving.
Oh, you don't have headphones. That's why.
I have headphones.
Probably. Wait, Billy has headphones in?
I might have. I'll go get a headphone.
I'm not getting headphones, guys. Sorry.
But no, as far as pairing stuff up, I've had a couple locks from I'm doing a repeat pairing on those green trees, and then last night I checked on my Bairds and noticed that my female was looking really fat in the last half, and I palpated her, and she's holding. So I put a egg box lay box in there today.
Yeah, I
don't know when she's gonna drop.
That male that you had a picture of the other day was looking sharp, man.
Yeah, that's my Mexican pair. They were sold as Mexicans. I don't have any documentation that's proof that they're like true 100% pure Mexicans, but I mean there's Mexican in there without a doubt.
Is there quite a bit difference between the Mexicans and the Texas?
Yeah. The Mexicans have that. They have the gray head where it comes like immediately cuts off after the neck and goes back to that regular like Baird's color.
Mm-hmm.
From what
is it just phenotypical differences, or is there?
Yeah. Well, there's at one point they said they should be a separate subspecies, but apparently that got shot down. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the Mexicans and then you look at the Texans, there's a pretty obvious difference just in that gray head, and then the rest of the body is a completely different color.
How's that a little better?
Oh,
yeah.
Ooh, way better.
And I have another pair that I bought is undocumented. I just found them at a show and got them, and both of them have that same thing going on. So they have some Mexican influence in there too. I just don't know. I don't know anything else about them, unfortunately.
Right.
How are those Loma Altas turning out?
Huh?
Those Loma Altas, how are those turning out?
This fucking phone.
My what?
God damn.
The Loma Altas.
Oh, the Loma Altas. Those are good. They're growing quick. I want to get another pair at some point. I feel like a pair of those just isn't enough.
Yeah, I was looking at those are the ones, man.
Yeah, those are like the cream of the crop, man. When it comes to bears, like that's, especially the ones from Dan Parker are top shelf, man.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Bairds at a show before.
You rarely do. Like that's why if I see a pair at a show or one trickling at a show, I grab it, man, because
I bet you they look a lot different in person too, I would imagine.
yeah, and that's the issue is they, as babies they look like any other rat snake species, kind of gray and boring, and people don't realize that they go through such a dramatic change that people just completely overlook because they're usually not that expensive either. I mean, you can get a normal at a show for I don't know $60. That's what Billy bought. He got that one from was it Travis Wisely?
Whistler.
Yeah, that one. We were at Daytona, and I mean that one was $60, and Billy bought that one. That one's turned out really nice too.
I didn't know they existed until Justin bought some at Daytona and was like,
No one does.
and I'm like, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah, rat snakes in general seem to be overlooked,
Yeah, they're cool.
Well, speaking of rat snakes, Billy, you want to share some of your most recent rat snake happenings that was part of the group chat?
Yeah, nothing happened with that.
Oh,
I didn't go through it. I got my last clutch today. That was it.
okay.
Yeah. So I struck out again on the.
I was telling Dan about that clutch too.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
The Balin Tiger?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, the Russian tiger crossed with Balin tigers.
Mm-hmm.
I figured Dan would appreciate that more
Absolutely.
than most because Dan has his tigers.
Yeah.
He's got that red too.
That's from Fennell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's awesome.
I think I have a sibling. I have a sibling to that one.
I don't know what it is about Russian tigers, man. That just, like if I see Russian with carpet python, my interest is peaked.
They're cool, man. Even these 50%ers I have are awesome. They look so different. They have so much black tipping and stuff. It just gives them a whole nother look.
I think
There's not that many around anymore, right?
Yeah.
That's when they breed a coastal to a Russian rat snake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, Phil.
Which is another one on my list. At some point before I die, I'm getting some Russian rats.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, was it Zerky? He has some good Shedrick eye.
Yeah, I used to have
He's got-
a pair.
I don't. Did you really? Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Russians because you can look at a Russian and tell like that's a Russian. Like you can't mistake a Russian for like anything else.
They're super chill too. Like right out of the egg, they're so chill. Do anything with them.
That's nice too.
Yeah, like most of the whole world stuff is kind of skittish and flighty and all that. They're not at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a pair of leopards years back. Those I couldn't get those to eat for anything.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I've been wanting the Alafe bimaculata, the Chinese corn snake, just because it's a Chinese corn snake. And,
Just because, yeah.
yeah. And I think they look cool too, but kind of like what you guys are saying, I'm just a little bit nervous about it being kind of a little bit of a pain in the ass, and it doesn't really fit into the rest of the collection temperature-wise.
Yeah, I tried to sell you on Chinese beauties. You weren't having it.
Yeah, no, those are a handful, man.
Not that bad.
Put a little pep in your step.
Right, they keep you on your toes.
Your
Yeah.
toes.
If I'm gonna keep a snake like that, it'll probably be Ridley Eye out of all of them.
Oh yeah, those are on my list. Those
A
are
fucking aristocrat.
those are a sweet looking snake, boy.
I'm hopefully pairing those next year.
I was gonna say, Billy had some.
Yeah.
I saw him with my own eyes.
Yeah, they're impressive in person, man. They put on a show.
Oh yeah, when they display, it gets your attention.
I used to have. I'm drawing a blank at the name here. Radiated eye. Those were awesome.
Yes, I got those too.
Billy's one of those guys. Every time
He's that guy. Yeah.
I find out that he has something else, and I had no idea he had it. Like I found out he had Honduran black milks the other day. I was like, "When did you get those?" And apparently, he's had them forever. I just
Those
didn't
things
know
are
it.
monsters.
Which is funny.
I sold them. I had them. I don't have them.
Oh, okay. I thought you still had them. I was like, "What?" I was like, "I
So-
would have noticed that."
So I was going to bring this up. So my man Marcus has a pair of 8-month-old Honduran blacks, and I'm like been drooling over them because I friggin' love the Geckos. That's an amazing species. And then now Carly's getting one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Awesome.
they're cool snakes, man. They're so thick. They're like a pit.
Yeah, me and Phil were talking about those a couple of weeks ago. How they're like the most indigo-esque snake that isn't an indigo.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
My late mentor had he was a taxonomy junkie, but all of his taxonomy was decades old, and he spoke fluent Latin because he grew up in an age when they actually taught it in college, and he was incredibly influential in me being the taxonomy junkie that I am now. But he had a pair of now I'm going to butcher the name. It was Lamprepeltis triangulum polymorpha, which I guess is now a phenotype of Geckos, where they keep the black speckling. They don't turn black. They get like 8 foot, and they have a black bar going down their face, almost like a medieval helmet, got like a nose guard. And he said that they were the meanest snakes he's ever had in captivity. And I've been searching for said specimen since he passed away, and I am coming up unfounded, and therefore believe he may have been just crazy.
Yeah, I've never heard of those.
Yeah. So they came out of Honduras, and
Black milks.
Maybe if they were named after Harry Potter, we'd still be talking about them.
Oh man.
But hopefully I'll have Baird's eggs happening soon. I hope it's going to be a small clutch. I can tell that. I mean, she's a young female. She's not huge, which actually, Joe, I'm curious.
Yeah, go ahead.
Huh?
Sorry.
I was say I'm curious do you agree with the whole like 3 years, 300 grams, 3 feet thing?
I mean, I don't think it applies to bear dye, if that's what you're asking. But,
I mean, just in general, like, do you
No, not at all. I think that age is pretty much like the sole factor involved with a lot of rat snakes is probably 80% of it, to be honest. I've had some pretty small females go, but are 3 years of age. So for me, it's always just 3 years of age. If she's naturally smaller, she's naturally smaller. She's naturally bigger, she's naturally bigger.
I mean, I really, I don't want to say I necessarily slow grew them, but there was a few periods where I was like really thin on feeding just cause. And I mean, they're both, I got them in 2016. They were probably hatched late 2015, if I had to guess. Maybe not. Maybe early 2016, but
yeah, I'm not saying
I mean,
if there's circumstances like that. I mean, maybe that's a special situation where you keep an animal back. I mean, that's what I don't mean that every animal is three. I mean, every animal is that's regularly fed. You know,
it was just you being more of a colubrid rat snake kind of guy.
Yeah,
you'd have more insight on it. Noah, what do you think? You're a colubrid guy too.
Well, with pits, I've had a couple of egg bound issues, but most of that has to do with how fucking big the eggs are.
Mm-hmm.
So I generally make sure I have a pair of white-sideds that she's old enough, but she's just too small. So I'll wait and go next year just because Yeah, I've had egg bound once or twice, and
Mhm.
it's hard to
Yeah,
recover
'cause
that.
I asked Ron Allen before I put mine together because I was like, they got to be getting close to the size to be able to make it happen, even if it's a small clutch. And he said, his, as long as they're at least 300 grams, he says they should be fine. And both of these are over 300, not by a ton, but by a decent margin. So I just had them together, and finally it happened.
I
had,
have like 5-year-olds that aren't 300 grams who have bred twice in a row. So, I mean, like, it just depends. So I think you're good, man.
I just hope they're good. I hope she doesn't throw me some
And
slugs.
usually, like, why I usually go err on the side of breeding them at some points is the fact that oftentimes on those, whether it's like second clutches or even the first clutch, if it's infertile, I've had more problems with oviducts and stuff like that, prolacting with slugs for whatever reason. I've heard other people say that, but I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me. But
Well, I got to get my incubator up and running still. I keep saying every day I'm going to set up the incubator. And it's still sitting behind me. Not plugged in, not going, and I need to make that happen because if I have chondro eggs coming and these bears eggs, I need to get my head out of my ass.
yeah, what have you heard about incubating those eggs? Is there anything special to bear's eggs?
No, some of the stuff I read online, people were like, cook them at 81 degrees and they hatch 60 to 75 days. I'd asked Phil at Cream City Serpents about his. He put his in at 84. So, I mean, they're not a hard species to breed at all. They're not a hard species to hatch. There's a lot of stuff you'll read will actually say they're probably a really good beginner species to breed if you want something that's not going to cause you a lot of trouble. So,
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to getting the stimmies going.
yeah, good luck. Have fun with that, buddy. Have fun with the babies.
Mm-hmm.
At least you got good eggs.
I'm this close to buying an adult spotted that's at the retail store. The thing has been a champion eater. It's friendly, and it's been laying upside down, belly up, all bloated. I'm assuming it's ovulation for like weeks now. And I want
that mail from Billy.
I should do that.
He's
I just
shooting
saw
blanks.
someone posted stripe spotters today.
Ryan Young.
Young? Yeah.
Yeah,
Billy,
that's who I got my pair from.
Yeah.
Bill, you got a lone male you want to hawk?
No. No, I don't. Sorry.
Got all these hangnails, man. These things hurt. Billy has had a rough season.
I think we all have.
I heard that.
I have 3 clutches with 2 good eggs, 1 clutch with 1 good egg, completely slugged out, and then 2 okay clutches. That's how it's been.
Yeah.
But I got some good eggs, so I can't complain.
And you're getting action, so that's all that matters, honestly.
Yeah.
You're getting stuff. So
The Petersons really that deflated me.
I had
lot.
my fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah, I only got 2 good eggs from him. So that girl's huge. She bred in 2016 and laid like 24 eggs
Oh, wow.
God.
for the guy. I get 2 out of her.
Joe, I'm pretty sure. What's that?
I was going to ask Joe when he's getting another chondro. When's he going to start producing chondros?
Nah, I have my one. It likes to be a pain in the ass every once in a while. I don't need 2 of them.
You got to be mentally ill to only want one chondro.
Yeah, it's hard. I put mine right where my eggs were last year, and I was checking on eggs so much that it stopped eating. So I had to move it over to the other corner. It's like I can't tread too much around this guy, or else he'll go off food.
Is he a display animal like in the living room?
He was until he went off food doing that. So then he got tubbed and put in the room, and then all of a sudden there was too much traffic in a certain part of the room, and he gets moved to another one. And but he's doing all right. Now he's just like, if I give him live, he's 100% good all the time. So
That's how my male was for the first like year that I had him, dude. I could not get that bastard to eat frozen thaw to save my life. It was so frustrating.
And it sucks because he does like the wrap, and the wrap happens for like an hour, man.
Yeah,
like,
they like fall
what
asleep.
Is he doing?
They like forget what they're doing. I have some that do that all the time. Like I have smaller ones. They literally like fall asleep while they're in the middle of eating, and so I'll go and like tap the tub, and you'll see them like wake up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, oh shit, I'm supposed to be eating right now," and you see them like get back to it. I've got one from it's my Manok type that was produced by Tim Crowther that I got from Brian Fisher, and that thing's like a speed eater. Like that one eats faster than any other snake I have, minus like one of the corns. Like that thing eats and takes it down. The other ones they take like an hour, 45 minutes just to go through the whole process, and I could feed him 3 mice in the time it takes them to finish one.
Yeah, I mean, there's times where, I mean, just the last time I fed him, he got to the point where he was caught alluring and doing all that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if an adult male's doing that, he's hungry, and he ate right away when it came to that. So, maybe just be a little light-handed.
Half the time when I feed them, they go back to the perch and they start caught alluring again. Like, it's ridiculous, dude. They're weird. Like, you can have some that'll eat anytime you feed them. Doesn't matter. You could be in the middle of, like, a subway, tons of noise, tons of movement, they'd still eat. And then you have some that it's like, if you blink while you're watching them, they drop it and they stop.
We're just saying what Andy put that he could not have one of any snake. And I was just thinking, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have at least 6 different species that I only have one of because I either can't get a significant other, or they're really expensive and I'm poor. So I guess there's exceptions to that one. So I don't judge Joe for having only one chondro. I don't.
Oh, I have one olive python. I have one water python. I have one jungle carpet python. I think that's one emery eye. I have one of a few things. One Everglades rat snake. Random stuff.
It's good.
It's funny how this hobby has this weird compulsion now where you can't just like having just one of something is just weird.
I can't have just one of anything.
It's so bizarre. Like it used to be the other way around. Now it's like, what do you mean you only have one? What do you do with it?
Well, I had one of those years last year where I got overwhelmed, and it's so I would rather not breed things. I'd rather just play with them.
I got 3 species that I'll never. All right, maybe one of the 3 I may be able to get in the future, in the distant future, but I've got stuff that I'll never get ever again, and they're lone males.
You put that on yourself.
What's that?
So there's nothing wrong with having a pet.
It's true. It's true. But it would be cool to breed them. I messed up.
Could just hoard everything and buy every Baird you see, like me.
Yeah, but you'll produce and you'll have the Smith line.
And nobody will want them because nobody knows they exist.
I've seen one.
Half my collection is literally Bairds.
That's awesome. I love it.
It's dumb.
You have a passion for a unique individual species, and I commend that.
If all else fails, you can tour, shopping malls like Joe Exotic.
The magic of the Baird's rat snake. Watch them as they musk on you when you touch them.
You're gonna need to couple husbands for.
I don't know about that.
They're not king of the south, and you wear a crown and stuff everywhere.
We'll do a little video montage with the drone, like you did. We'll have the throne and the cape, or the is that a cape? What is that they wear?
Cloak.
Sure.
You gotta get the big like Danzig crown, like the big ball one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just fun snakes. They're easy.
Yeah.
Everyone
you
talks
won't have. You won't have a problem finding 30 people to buy those or something.
Dude, and that's the thing
convert
is like
some people.
That's one of those projects that if I have someone who goes like, hey, I've never heard of these, they look really cool, I want to try them out, and it's like a friend, like if Billy came to me and was like, hey, what do I got to do to get a pair? And I'll be like, dude, pay for shipping, I'll send you some. Like,
done.
It's just one of those things where if I have a homie who's like, I want to keep some, I'm like, Send me your shipping information. I'll have them to your door. Like, I don't know. I guess when the hobby's like, I guess when you love it that much that you don't really care if you make money on things or not. You can just send stuff to people.
You got to position yourself for a trade, though. You got to be like, "Hey, Billy, give me some Russian rat snakes."
I'm already trying to get a pair of
man.
Billy's chondros that he refuses to part with.
Chondros.
I just want his mail. I just want that mail there. That's it.
Me too. That's the problem.
Send them to me.
It's hard
Give me a
not to
month
love
with
those
them.
Jag Chondros you post.
Dude, those
Yeah,
things are
they're
stellar.
awesome.
Stellar.
I don't even post the nice one.
I have a much better appreciation for those now after seeing them in person. I will say that.
Oh, and you remember our Indonesian friend I sent you that had that really, really dark blue Carpondro?
Mm-hmm.
He told me that was a jet black, that was F1 jet black Irian Jaya female to a Aru with super high white. And it made that dark blue crazy thing. He said only like 3 or 4 siblings look like that.
The IJs make them darker.
Really?
Yeah, Ben Siegel had a clutch. He bought a clutch off of somebody like 10, 15 years ago. There's a video on YouTube about it. And you can tell they're a lot darker. Like even as neonates, they're super dark.
Was this before or after he beat the shit out of somebody with a monitor?
This was before all
That was a bearded dragon, all right, pal? Let's calm down.
Okay.
Is that pre or post bug eating?
And hey, he didn't kill the kid. The kid died of asphyxiation of his own vomit.
Fucking
just
that
like
man's
the
Just like
Contact.
Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, it was Mama Cass. Mama Cass died from ham sandwich.
So they say.
So they say. Oh,
Netflix needs to do a Ben Siegel special.
oh God. Oh. Dude, he's going,
This is a good question for Phil, since he knows all those South Florida crazies. If they were to do a Tiger King-like documentary on the reptile hobby, who do you think would be the first person they'd be going to?
honestly,
They're doing it on Crutchfield, man.
they would.
Yeah, they
They would-
started.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember this, but a few years back, maybe 2015 or so, Crutchfield brought his own camera crew to Daytona. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah,
I
I do.
wasn't there.
Brought his own camera crew. That was before he was remarried and all this other stuff. Patty was still alive, God rest her soul.
Is she
And
dead? Did she die?
she died, yeah.
When?
Yeah,
About a year.
Over a year
For
ago.
real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cancer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cancer.
Dude, Patty was the best, man. You know, we would go down to Crutchfields and, like, he was nice, but Patty would walk around. Patty would show us around. Patty would meet us at the gate in, like, little tiny little short shorts, a dirty T-shirt with her hair in a bun, and a 38 special stuffed in her waistline. And she'd walk up and be like, who is that? Who is that? Be like, it's Phil. It's Phil. Be like, oh, why are you standing there? Get over here. And, like, walk us around and be like, oh,
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Yeah, but yeah, it would most definitely be Crutchfield, and he would pay for the pilot.
When I started that show and I saw him at the beginning, like my heart sank. I was like, "Oh fuck, here we go. This isn't good."
Oh, he delayed that Gaboon Viper right up, though.
Oh my God!
No problems.
Don't get me started, man.
That's the least of his worries.
Yeah. Well, I remember before he had before Florida changed the laws on outdoor venomous, he had a bunch of really, really nice brick and wood wire flight cages outside that bordered his property. And he was successfully breeding Gila monsters and Eastern Diamondbacks in those flight cages, just chilling outside.
You wouldn't think Gilas would do that well.
And they
out
did
there.
it.
That's
He got
wild.
eggs and yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I
That's
guess
the one
Ryan-
venomous I want. He'll
Ryan Reed, I was talking about, he keeps Gilas outside in South Carolina, and he was talking about just the microclimate that they have in the desert. I mean, down in the burrows, there's a good amount of humidity, so they actually don't do bad in humid environments. So
Reed's our boy, man.
it's the man. He is the man.
Reed's awesome. Supposed to be getting some frogs from him at some point soon.
Oh yeah, Henry, and the gaboons. I forgot about that. He had like 3 or 4 foot West African gaboons in flight cages outside.
Look at Billy trying to get that last drop out of that bottle.
What is that? What are you
He's-
drinking?
Just cracking. Some,
The Kraken, baby.
nothing crazy.
But yeah, man, they could do. I hate to say it because I don't want to glorify the messed up individuals in our hobby, but they could literally do that entire show on snakes in my freaking county. That's depressing.
I believe it.
Oh yeah.
So
You're at ground zero, buddy.
I know, and Justin has spoken about it on the podcast and stuff too. Like my personal opinion of Tiger King is, although extremely entertaining, I don't want to really glorify it because in any manner because it was supposed to be us. It was supposed to be us.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
it wouldn't shock me if Crutchfield called what's his name and said, "Yo, man, these guys are coming to film some snake stuff because they're going to do a snake thing. Bring a snow leopard or whatever the hell that cat was." You know, it would not shock me if that was staged in that capacity. And then the
I
film
basically
guys,
assumed that. Yeah.
yeah, and the film guys were like, "Yo, these reptile guys are weird, but these cat people are fucking nuts." So
Thank God.
We thought these people were bad.
yeah, but I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see what happens.
That
I mean, looks
follow-up
like-
episode was horrible.
What's that?
That follow-up episode.
I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, it sucks.
Don't bother.
Yeah, I
It was
didn't
a
watch.
letdown, yeah. It was
Dom's
a-
actually really mad at me because I've only seen like the first 2 episodes. She says I'm not allowed to make Carol Baskin jokes because I've only seen 2 episodes.
So one of the, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this or not, but one of the retired captains that I used to work with, he posted this because he was in the area. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
shit.
Hey, went to school with her.
Buddy.
Wow!
Or the
What cracks me up is like Billy, and then I have another friend in Tampa, and they like apparently, and Billy would be able to clue us in on this better than anybody else, but Nebraska Avenue,
that is where all the streetwalkers are at.
and who was walking down the street when Homeboy picked her up in his truck? Carol
Oh, yeah.
fucking Baskin.
Yeah, she was hooked. She was hooked.
Wasn't that guy with the weird hair? Isn't he out of Beaufort?
Yeah.
That's
Don't
what I thought, yeah.
that asshole.
The guy who went out on the jet ski, that guy?
No, Jeff Lowe, the douchebag with the affliction shirts and
Oh.
the stupid cap and the hat and the 5 layers and the that guy.
The guy that bring tiger cubs to get laid in Vegas. That guy.
Yeah. That's the guy. Beaufort's finest.
Mm-hmm. He looks like he should be named Kyle.
He is.
Looks like a grown-up Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle in
Yes.
30 years.
Mm-hmm.
A walking Four Loko commercial.
Yeah. He made the whole show, I think.
Huh?
I said I think he's probably my least favorite of the whole show. I just want to smack. that
He's the least favorite in this town, that's for sure.
guy. I believe it.
Just
I like the. I like
He's a
the long
douchebag then.
guy.
Yeah, I thought the dude with no legs was my favorite. He's the kind of guy that I'd sit and smoke a stove with.
Did anyone pick up the fact that he did that to himself, legs wise, because he kept walking on his? He learned to walk on his own and destroyed his feet because of it, just bone going through. Like, did anyone else pick that up?
I now that you mention it, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I mean, like, kudos to him for learning how to walk, but wow,
And to think he's the most normal one.
right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Carol fucking Baskin.
Yeah, that was some good. That may be the only thing I've ever binge watched. That was phenomenal TV.
Well, it gives you a lot of insights on our industry. I mean, it has crossover. So it's always interesting to watch.
Sadly.
Oh, I will bet dollars to donuts that there will be a reptile, some other sector of that whole that whole realm. They'll do another, they'll find the most outrageous people they can and do another one. Because look at how much
They
attention
already-
Tiger King got.
They already found the
Realistically, they're probably in pre-production already.
Oh yeah. Like I don't think there's anything else Netflix has put up that has gotten nearly as much attention as that.
Well, someone
The
needs to
timing is good.
document some of these old school herpers' lives. I mean, just for us to know, it's going to be a painful fucking 7 episodes, 2 hours of
There's
total
already
dog
books
shit.
out
But
about some of this shit.
yeah, there's already books. That's
They're
true.
not trying to hide it.
Yeah.
Wasn't Crutchfield locked up abroad? I think.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on a few shows.
There used to be a guy that used to come by Strictly, and I was actually talking to my friend Chris, who used to do the Python room when I was doing the venomous stuff. And there was a guy that would come around named Mr. Black. Mr. Black, he was like 6'6", probably 110 pounds of just bone crunching, whiskey drinking, lived in a van, and he would field collect rattlesnakes from across the country. Oh, I got this one in blah, blah, blah National Preserve, but they don't fucking know. Like that kind of shit. And what's that?
I said, it sounds like I'd watch that. That sounds.
Oh, yeah. And Mr. Black, he lived in this thing, and he would always have on clean clothes, and he was always well put together, but you know that he literally lived in the van by the river. I mean, just call it that.
Just him and his rattlesnakes.
One time, Pops came in the room, and Pops was like, "Hey, Phil, Mr. Black is here. Go out in his truck. There's a box. It's a little too heavy for him. You know, he's getting a little older." Meanwhile, I was probably in his early 70s back then. And I go in there and I open the back of this like conversion van house thing. And there's a box there and it says, you know, danger, rattlesnakes. It's a cardboard box. So I'm like, all right, cool. And the box isn't part of the story. It's irrelevant. It's the fact that I pick up the box, I look up, and where you would see like those conversion vans where they have like a little stove with a kitchen and a sink and like a little couch and like maybe like a little kitchen table with like a little cot. No, it was old school vintage panel wood, like the side of a PT Cruiser, the whole line, and they were all cages. There was no bed. There was no nothing. It was just cages. And that's where he lived. And I was like, man, if they ever did a snake show, we got to find Mr. Black if he's still alive.
Hunt him down.
Got some fucking stories, I'm sure.
Find that van. That van exists still somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's in a junkyard somewhere in the middle of nowhere in bumfuck Florida.
I asked him when I went back inside, I said, hey, Mr. Black, forgive me for being rude, but I took a little look inside your van when I got this box. Man, you got a lot of cages in there. You know, I was being a little coy with him. He goes, yep, used to be a traveling show. And I was like, what do you mean? Well, the circus would be in town. I'd pull my van up, tell people, you don't have to pay that $2 to get into the circus. I'll give it to you for a nickel. And he just had rattlesnakes on display. And he would charge people a nickel to go look at his truck.
Go get in my van and check it out.
Pretty much.
I'm just picturing like a small mountain of Hustler magazines in the car seat.
And a lot of Kleenex.
Right?
Yeah.
Old school herpers.
Dude, imagine living a life like that. I mean, but you need to know about those people.
Yeah.
That's like,
That's the Dragon Traders. That's an awesome book. If y'all ever read it, like that goes, I mean, way, way back. Like literally like the dawn of the hobby, pre-dawn of the hobby. And, you know, until now. And it like, you hear about a lot of those characters like that, but, you know, they were out of their mind, but at the same time, they're also responsible for a lot of the stuff we have now.
what's the right balance of, I mean, complete irresponsibility and dedicating yourself to snakes? I mean, the living in the van? What's the line?
I don't know. I'll tell you, there was a guy named Water Snake Rob, Water Snake something, and he brought
Nerodian Ned.
Yeah, right. His name was Water Snake Rob, I think is what his name was. And he, again, this was going maybe 15 years back, and he was probably in his 60s then. And trying to remember this one story of him. Basically, he would just come in, and it was always a different thing. And it was like, oh man, I was talking to this girl in the parking lot, And it's like snowball from there. And that was just like the general consensus of most of those stories. It was just like the most obscure thing. And I was like, of course you sell Nerodia to Strictly. Of course you do. Like, that's what you do. You know, you pick up hookers in random parking lots and you sell snakes. That's what
You
you
take her with you to catch water snakes, and then you bring them back here and sell them.
do. Yeah.
Can you change my name on this to Water Snake Dan?
Yeah.
I don't think I can. I think only you can.
Oh, man.
Water snakes.
So many freaking stories, man. Ugh.
Phil has seen
No.
some shit in his short time on this earth. Phil has.
Oh,
He
You
was
wanna
suckling the
hear-
teat of the reptile underbelly long before.
both of them. Just the whole udder. Just the whole udder. I got a pail and an open mouth. So, Water Snake Rob told me that in the 60s, probably the 60s, in the hippie era, in the 60s, they used to get a permit not to buy, sell, or trade alligators, but to transport alligators. And I may have mentioned the story before in here. I don't remember, but
I don't think so.
they would get a permit from, I think it was U.S. Fish and Wildlife, to transport alligators. And they would go into Port of Miami, and they go to Port of Miami, and they would rent an airboat that some mobster had built with giant, well, not giant, but like 4 or 5 foot walls around the sides of it, right? And there was 2 seats, a driver and like just a co-pilot. And then the inside of the boat was completely gutted. And what they would do is they would take it from Port of Miami. They would go down to Homestead. They would line the boat with bales, like fucking bales of marijuana, right? And then they would basically cover them with garbage bags. And then they would go down to one of the alligator farms also in Homestead. And they would buy as many big wild-caught ornery alligators as they can, probably illegally. And they would throw them loose in the airboat with no tape, no rope, no nothing. And then they would take the Miami Canal all the way up the Kissimmee River, and they would go all the way to Orlando in this airboat. And if Fish and Wildlife ever stopped them, or game wardens, or whoever stopped them, they'd be like, "Whoa, what are you doing with all these gators?" Well, like, here's our alligator permit, and we're transporting them up to such and such farms for slaughter. And Fish and Wildlife, they're not getting in that boat with all them gators. Looks good to me. See you later. And they would just go, and then that's how they transported their bales of weed.
Yeah,
Crazy.
see, I think that's what isn't uncovered is that angle of the whole story, how that intertwines.
Well, it's like,
There's a will, there's a way.
you know how Burmese pythons are imported from Suriname, right?
No.
Oh, so you didn't know this, but Burmese pythons, they originated in Suriname. I don't know if you're aware. Contrary to all of your reptile vast knowledge, but Burmese pythons, they're not from Burma. They're from Suriname. At least on the paperwork in the 1980s it was. Because what they would do is they would get wild-caught animals from Burma. They would ship them to Singapore down to Suriname, and in Suriname they would take a frozen thawed rabbit and they would pack it with a couple keys of Coke, sew it up, feed it to the berm. So each berm has like 7 or 8 keys inside it. And they would legitimately import it from Suriname to Miami. Then they would agitate the snake and it would throw up the rabbit, or they would just put straight charcoal down its throat and get it to throw up the rabbit. Now you have cocaine.
I believe it.
Welcome to South Florida Reptiles.
People are weird, man.
And to think I'm just a loser in my spare bedroom, huh?
This was
These
all
guys
before my
are-
time. This was long before my time. I don't have anything to do with these people. I just know the stories. So, Fish and Wildlife.
That is
I
one of
mean,
the things with the with that Dragon Traders book, like talking about how in like I think it was like the 40s and the 50s, like they were selling baby alligators like you wouldn't believe. And like mailing them through the postal service. Like you order them through a catalog for like $2 and
Well, that's why all the gators got in the sewers in New York, right?
unbelievable. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Makes sense.
Well, we could still pick them up from Hamburg for $60.
They just found one in Schenectady, New York, which is like upstate New York. They
Really?
found like a caiman or something like that in a park recently. Yeah, just a few days, I think.
Yeah,
That's
they
a
found
Hamburg
carpet.
special.
They found a carpet in Orlando a few months back.
Really?
Yeah. So it's just
Somebody-
a matter of time.
That could really be a thing.
Somebody sent me a link of some guy finding like a big ass postal carpet in his yard, and like all the neighbors were out there and the cops were there, and then I like look at the headline. It's from friggin' Queensland. I was disappointed.
I just saw a video of a guy with like a 20-foot retic on his roof.
In Indonesia?
No, here, somewhere in the States.
Oh,
Florida.
What? Had to be.
Florida.
Oh, my God, Florida.
Like no one could tell me. Like if someone said, "Oh yeah, they someone found this in the yard in Florida." I don't care what it was. I would probably be like, "Yeah, probably."
See, that's not good though, man. Like I get it, but like it makes me sad. You know, makes
The
me
whole
sad.
Florida man thing is a real thing.
Oh, that is totally real.
Yeah.
Like legit. Billy and I know like 8 of them.
Oh yeah, there's a guy that comes to all the local shows. There's a place here called Ybor City. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it.
Cigar Central.
Come on, look at the show you're on.
It's the
My
Mecca.
bad. So
Yep.
it's all nightclubs and stuff. That's all it is. He like has this cart and he walks around like Friday and Saturday night, and he just has big berms, huge boas, all that kind of stuff. So who knows what he's really into?
He's like, "Here, have your 5-year-old kid hold the head while you can take a picture with it."
Yeah, we'll put the body on the hot mom.
Yeah, he came up to me at one of the shows and he's like, "I've seen you at Ybor, right?" And I saw him once there. And I was like,
What?
Like, oh god.
fuck.
like,
Like, yeah, I've seen you.
You're a pretty firefighter.
I'm gonna have to start
Yeah.
more fires. Maybe you'll come around to my house.
He has like a 9-foot boa that has to be like 70 pounds. It is the most obese thing I've ever seen.
I
It's
feed
as
it
big
one
around-
large rabbit every week.
It's as big as round as like a 16-foot berm. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
So he has those and then his 2 pit bulls that he walks around.
That's just the cherry on top.
It is.
Mhm.
Florida. It's like that Big Mouth episode.
The what?
Never seen it.
Big Mouth.
Never seen Big Mouth?
Cartoon on Netflix. Oh my
I know
God.
of it. I never hit play.
Oh my God. Are Joe and I the only cool ones here?
Yeah,
Probably.
so
You guys have to
Or-
watch Big Mouth. You
Or
have
are
to.
you guys the only uncool ones?
Oh no. We may be shorter than y'all, but we know funny.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Sorry, Joe. Sorry.
Joe, can I tell you something without you getting mad?
I'm actually already mad.
Never mind. Never mind.
I want to know now.
No, Billy, of course. You can say anything to me without me getting mad.
So at Tinley this past October, right? So I saw you walk by, and of course I recognized your face with the podcast and everything.
Yeah.
My
No.
first thought was, wow, I thought he was going to be bigger.
I
saw you walk, I was like, holy crap, this is a little guy.
I would
you're cool.
say-
It's not like you're not
Look
cool.
at this cute little guy.
I would say probably 25% of people, especially dudes, when I meet them for the first time, say something audibly about me being shorter than
See,
than they
I
expected.
didn't.
So
I was
At
just
least I
glad.
waited.
you were a fucking Sasquatch. I mean, anyone would be shorter. I mean, I didn't think you'd be so tall, to be
I
honest.
saw Joe at Carpet Fest. So I was like, "You're real. Like you're an actual person."
Plaything.
He did say that. He did say that. He did. I like it because when I met Joe, I was like, "Hey, man, you and I don't know, but I'm Phil. What's going on? Shake hands." And I didn't have to do this.
I have your poster on my
Welcome
wall.
to the Lollipop Gang. Nice of you to show up. Me, you, and Burke can hang out now.
We're
Nice.
one hobbit away from completing the Shire.
Jesus.
Jake, where's Jake? Let's get
I
Jake.
don't know. Wait, Jake. Yep, Jake's the 4th.
Yeah, he's in the short.
If we get 7, I mean, we can be dwarfs.
Yeah,
He's got like the Hobbit wizard hair going on.
we need to give Carly a black wig.
Why? Who would she be?
She's Snow White, dude.
Oh,
Dwarf
Yeah.
Hold on,
references,
it's going to go
man.
loud for a second.
Yeah. Sorry, bad joke.
Sorry, guys.
God, Dan.
What are
Sorry.
you doing, Dan?
Jesus.
Look at all those movie posters.
Water Snake Dan.
What do you got? Who's that? Boondock Saints.
Nice. 300.
300.
Hey Dan, why does
What's up?
every bald white guy like Boondock Saints?
Fair question.
The first one wasn't that bad.
That was great. Oh, I dropped my phone.
No, I love Boondock Saints.
The second one was really bad. The first one wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I heard of it. I didn't watch it.
No, it's not. The guy got fat. One of the brothers got fat. It was just weird.
So, hey, Dan, so how are the shops on the island?
Yeah, how expensive are cigars?
Oh, forget it. I haven't bought a cigar in New York in a long time. So I don't even look anymore.
Do
I'll just go to,
online
yeah.
companies ship to you or no?
I'll order. I've had it's like Cigars International, but I really won't. You know.
Do they do they make you pay the taxes online ahead of time?
Yes.
Ah, fucking hell.
Yeah. Justin sent me a couple of packages. It's just, yeah, you can't buy them in the stores.
And
He
is
knows
that
where to
taxed
go.
according to where you live or where the shipper is?
I don't know.
So, like, would you have to pay New York taxes on it?
I have
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah, I think that's how it's. I think that's
How it works.
Because
I
he's
believe so,
he's
yeah.
in New York, he has to pay the taxes if he had bought it there, right?
I guess, yeah. Yeah, it's insane.
Only because it's tobacco, right?
Well, yeah, the sin taxes in New York are insane.
I mean, that's why I have a lot of people from New York who come down like during the summer when we don't have a stupid virus going around.
Got to pay
And-
JRs.
They'll load up when they're with us, and I'll tell them. But when they leave, I'm like, we also ship. Like, if you want more of these, there's plenty more where these came from. You know, because I have a guy who comes down like once a year, and those Liga Privada Ferals, they're like $20 with us. But he's like, dude, up there, I pay $30 a stick for these things.
I've never even seen them.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you guys are there clubs out there or no? Or like hangouts out there?
Yeah, we have one. That's not bad, but it's very
Mhm.
pricey.
Yeah.
You know, to get a locker, it's a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah. I went to a club or I'll call it a bar, cigar bar in Manhattan. My brother had an internship there for a while, and I go up to Philly like once a year to visit family and stuff. And when he had the internship in Manhattan, I was like, oh, you know what, I'll drive up. And I got a friend who lives in Washington Heights, so I drove up from Philly and picked up the one friend in Washington Heights, came back down and picked up my brother, and we went to the cigar bar. And it was clever because the entry fee to the bar was like $20 or $30,
Okay.
but all the sticks were reasonably priced, normal. And I think they did that as like
Added, yeah.
Yeah.
like a mind game. Like you're still paying the tax on it, but you don't feel like you're paying an extortion on the tobacco.
Mhm.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
No.
I don't know. South Carolina, we're lucky. We don't have crazy high tobacco tax. Actually, I don't even think we have a tobacco tax at all. We have like just sales tax.
Yeah, well, you in North Carolina are the tobacco states, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, I mean that's why JR's is so cheap. I love that place, man. Driving back from Philly, I'm gonna stop there.
Noah, how bad are the prices where you are?
Wisconsin's not too bad. The taxes, pretty standard.
Because I have a lot of guys. What happened?
That 64 I smoked, I think I paid 13 or something. So
That's good.
No,
Oh, that's not
at all.
bad. That by me is 18.
That's cheaper than us. Yeah, ours are. If you get the Imperial, that's 20, and then the Exclusivos are 16. But we get a lot of people that come in. And they're like, "Wow, y'all are cheap," and I ask them where they come from. It's almost always they're from like somewhere up north, like one of the major cities, or Georgia. Like the tobacco tax in Georgia is ridiculous. It's crazy. I don't know how some people do it, man. I'm like, it's already an expensive habit as is. I can't imagine being like up where Dan is, and
Yeah.
Like-
Well, I mean, I'm sure guys have a better appreciation for it. You know, you make them count.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I guess Australia is like the worst as far as taxes.
That's what I've heard. We usually have Jake is in here. He's in Australia, and he's been getting into cigars recently. And he's told me there's a lot of stuff he can't find, and if he can, it's like stupid expensive.
Well, that's why I get I'll message you every once in a while. Do you have the dogmas or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Because this, you're not going to find anything good like that here.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with those. I don't know if you can even still order them or what.
No, I think they were just like a limited run. I don't think they.
Probably.
What was it?
Those Drew Estate Dogmas.
That
Collaboration with Cigar Dojo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
But we got those aromas. That's all that matters.
I was telling Justin about. Now I forgot the name. Apparently, there was a gentleman out of Mozambique who I guess studied abroad or whatever and became a tobacco enthusiast, and he decided to open up Africa's first completely farmed tobacco brand out of Mozambique, and it's with Bugani. What is it? I can't remember. Hold on. I'm gonna find it and pull it up. But it's apparently got great reviews, and I was seeing if Justin had heard about it, or if anybody had heard about it, because it's supposed to be the new hot thing.
Yeah, but you see so many trends in cigars already.
Yeah.
As long as Romacraft sticks around,
Those Aquitaines are awesome.
Dude,
Not
I
the
will
Dragon
suck
all
from
day,
his
man.
dick. As long as they're still around, I don't care.
Yeah.
What was it? The
I think
Cro-Magnon
Knuckle
one? What's the
Dragger's
dark
probably
one?
My favorite.
I had that dark one that put me on my ass.
Yeah, those Cro-Mags, man, those are potent.
Well,
But Neanderthals, that's where it's at, dude. That's one that I smoke pretty much daily.
That's a popular stick. Yeah, it's a popular stick.
So good. And then we have those genetic deformities, which has the barber pole that has the Cro-Mag and the Aquitaine wrapper, and it's got extra Lajero in it, and those things are pretty freaking strong.
I think Roma is the only barber pole and the only Candela I've ever liked.
I've heard from other people, like our Drew Estate rep was talking about that Candela they have, and he's like, that is the only Candela that I actually have ever enjoyed. Yeah. And it's such a hard, like, so many people can't pull them off.
It's usually so bitter, but they're just smooth.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've never had one.
I've had a few, and they're usually, I mean, it's grassy. It's very grassy.
It reminds me of like a peaty Scotch.
Yeah, that's accurate. What is this? Phil, is this you?
Nope.
Oh, Katie's asking if I ate her ice cream.
Plain Carol
I found the Bugani cigars out of Mozambique, if you want to throw that up on the thing. I thought they looked really good. They got good reviews. I know it's probably, cliche or whatever, but I want to give it a try.
I mean, I'd definitely try them. Like, I'm always down to try something.
I'd smoke just about anything tobacco related.
Good. Let me ask you this. How many of y'all use Cigar Scanner?
I think I have it. I haven't used it in a hot minute.
You gotta get on it, man. I mean, the social media aspect is stupid. It's dumb because there's only like 6 guys on there actually using the social media. But the fact that it has 13,000 bands that you can take a picture of the cigar, if it's like unlegible or like you don't remember what the hell it was, you can take a picture of it and it finds it for you. Amazing. The reviews are at the top. It's completely free. It gives you market value pricing. It's phenomenal.
Nice.
There's like links to multiple different online distributors. It's awesome.
I have a
impressed
similar
with
app for whiskey.
Was that then you have one for whiskey?
Yeah, I think it's just called the whiskey app, something like that.
So basically the same thing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of fun with it, man. It's cool because it gives you 3 different lists. You can do your actual journal, which has like, I use it for my inventory so I know like what I got and what I've had and what I like, what I didn't like. Then it's got a wish list, and then it's got like an up and coming feature, which I thought was pretty cool. So like I have a bunch of sticks on my wish list. There's stuff like I just can't find around here, and I'm not really a big internet buyer, especially for that stuff. I like to patronize the locals places, but dude, it's awesome. It's free. Cigar Scanner, check it out.
It is a good app. I did like it when I had it.
It does glitch out a lot. I won't lie about that. And like you'll like let's say I find something and the Aging Room Quattro or whatever. I'll look up Aging Room Quattro and I'll add it to my wish list and there'll be like 3 of them there, But if I close the app and reopen it again, it just has the one. So like it does funny stuff with that. But that is the I guess that's the Toro from the Bungari and out of Mozambique. From Bugani, excuse me. But yeah, it's basic.
They look good. That's a tight roll.
Yeah, it is.
You know, the band isn't anything too crazy. The crown looks phenomenal. I mean, who knows if it's Photoshop? But like every picture I've seen, you know, the crown looks good, and it's supposed to be a Cameroon wrap with Mozambique guts. So whatever.
I'm sure the probably the closest thing we have to that are those Roma Craft Bacas.
Yeah, I imagine.
Which I mean, out of all the Roma stuff, the Bacas are probably my least favorite. I've smoked them a bunch of times, and every time I'm just kind of like,
What's the filler on that?
I don't even know.
Okay.
But we only have the two sizes. We only have like the small little Pesteras, and like the next size up from that. And I mean, if I'm sure it's like a Toro or something, it's probably very good. Meanwhile, Billy just sits there and stares.
No idea what you guys are talking about.
Start smoking. I've tried to get Billy to smoke cigars with me, and he won't do it.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Snakes.
I've tried it. It's just not my thing.
What's that movie where he's like super bad? He's like, not for me. Not for me.
Yeah.
I feel like that was totally you in high school, though.
It was. I was Jonah Hill in Superbad in high school, and I had a friend named Chad who was like a more cocky, confident Evan. And that was literally us in high school. It was pretty bad.
It was possessed by some sort of dick devil.
Yeah. I did not draw copious amounts of dicks in a notebook. That did not happen.
Drawing this big veiny triumphant bastard.
This big thing. I gotta get a look at these warlocks. but we definitely did stupid shit trying to get booze. And what's actually funny is my horrible smoker's voice that I have now. I actually had that when I was like 17. And
I was like you're just saying I've actually had this since I was 10.
no, I mean I had like a deep voice when I was in high school, and I'll never forget, we had this one little corner store, liquor store, and all the like 18, 19-year-old kids that had gotten out of high school, they would get me to buy them booze. And I was like 16, 17 maybe, which I thought was hilarious. It's also all about confidence, too. You walk in, like, what's up, man? You throw a thing of Molson on there. What's going on, man? How are you? And they'd be like, good. Boop. Boop. You know? It was fun.
You ever hey mister for booze before?
Hey, mister.
Hey, mister, what's that?
That's when you just stand outside and ask random people to buy you alcohol.
Oh, no, I was the dumbass kid. Like, hey, man, I'll take this bottle of, Tanqueray, whatever. And the guy looks at me like, bro, you're 12. Get the fuck out of here. And I'd be like, all right, fine. And like I have to pull the glove and I have to shamefully put it back on the shelf.
Kill an old lady and then the cops like slit your throat with a bottle.
Oh my God, no. Jeez. I forgot about that scene. Take off that vest. You look like fucking Aladdin.
I watched that movie for the first time in probably like 10 years, a couple weeks ago, and I was like, man, I watched it all the time when it came out. It's like Napoleon Dynamite. Like it just gets better with age.
Yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite never got better.
Yes, it did, Dan.
Is Noah washing his phone off? What's going on?
I forgot my chapstick.
Billy took a drink.
Oh, I gotta go upside down again. This phone is. I can't. How do you guys do this? I gotta get a phone mount.
Oh my God! What did the show become?
I think I laughed the hardest when he was climbing the fence and Uncle Rico threw that freaking grapefruit at him. He fell off.
Every time I see a fucking llama, I want to be like, eat your food, Tina. God.
All right, maybe it was okay. Napoleon Dynamite was okay.
He's a sledgehammer. You ever taken off any sweet jumps?
Oh my Like, so Dan, man, that calico was pretty awesome. You posted the other day.
Which one?
Hold on,
Dan's like, what calico?
There's a couple days ago.
I don't have any fucking calicos.
Maybe it's
Calico.
maybe it's the brand.
Calico cat.
Yeah. What's a calico carpet?
Maybe I'm using it wrong.
One of those venomous guys trying to be hip to the Morelia shit.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Put me on a list.
Yeah, Billy'd be all about it.
This thing, whatever this thing is, this thing's freaking awesome, man.
No, that's a phone.
Whatever that thing is.
Oh, that's a Darwin.
Oh, that's a Darwin,
No,
bro.
the Star one.
That one?
Yeah,
That thing's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
I got that
It's-
from Stephen Katz.
those things are. I feel like pure, like legit Darwins and pure Darwins like that don't get appreciated enough.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah,
I
they
would-
never
the
really
picture
got their
doesn't even-
moment.
It doesn't show it justice. That snake's almost orange.
How big is that animal?
It's, I don't know, maybe 2 feet. It's 2018.
Because
It's
I've
only
actually,
going to get better.
I have a pair of Darwins that are probably a year old, and like they look nothing alike. They look like Darwins. Don't get me wrong, but they look nothing alike. And then like I have no idea what they're going to turn into, and I think that's what makes me like them so much.
Yeah.
It's like God knows what they're going to transform. You know?
Yeah, I have a male that's going to look even better than her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got really reduced pattern on it up by its tail.
Very cool.
Did that one come from Cots too?
Steve Katz, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only Darwins I would get, because I hate my albino,
Oh, I hate
is,
albino.
I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
Why? How do you hate it?
It won't. It is the worst feeder ever. It should be a breeder size, and it
Yep.
eats rat pups.
Wow.
They suck at eating.
Well,
My albino just left a rat under the heat panel for 3 days, and then I walked downstairs. Yeah,
Yeah.
my whole house smelled like death.
Dude, my little pop one from Riley will do that. Like I'll feed it and it'll grab it and wrap it, and then I'll think that it ate it, and I'll come
Yep.
back in like 3 days later, and it's like there's a dead like black mouse.
Oh,
It doesn't smell like it
Oh.
just dries up, but I'm like,
Just-
oh no, this
What the
stunk.
hell?
It had the juice.
ooh.
just be happy that you guys don't have anything with hemotoxic venom, because not only did it not eat the rat and it's rotting, now it's liquefied from the venom, and it's the worst, sticky, smelly mess you've ever had in your entire life, and it makes you
That's gross.
feel It's horrible.
Turns it
Yeah,
into
my
goo.
wife came downstairs because I got the gym downstairs, and she couldn't even work out. She had to go back upstairs
Oh,
because that's how bad the whole basement smelled.
rough. Rough.
Y'all see the surprise, right? Have y'all seen the striped ones from Psychotic Exotics?
I was just talking to Stephen Katz trying to get one of those, and then
Yeah,
I
they won't
messaged.
release them.
No,
Only
I
a
tried.
handful of guys will get them.
Yeah, I tried messaging Todd Dyer about them.
There's
I
striped
didn't, I
albino
didn't get a
Darwins,
response.
Yeah, he won't let them go.
but
Then,
there's albino Darwins.
no, they're just wild types, but they're super striped and reduced.
Yeah, there's no pattern. There's just a stripe down his back.
All right.
They're
Stand by.
unbelievable. They're unbelievable.
The you know who's got some, I'm not a morph guy at all. In fact, there's very few albino animals I like. But dude, Sean's albino Darwins he has have
He has some nice
so
ones.
much white. They are
And-
so nice.
Billy, his actually eat, which is nice too.
Yeah, I really want him to produce that shit because I want them. Those things are
I- When I got albino, I was like, I'll never cross it. I'll keep it straight Darwin.
No, I'm crossing the hell out of mine.
That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to make more of those. I'm going to cross into something I want to eat.
I have a het albino zebra that I want to put my albino to.
that look cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
I wanted to make. I wanted to eventually make super zebra, albino super zebras, but then I saw the tails, and I was like,
Oh, are they like like the zebra issue with the
Yeah.
spinal stenosis or whatever?
yeah, it's only like the last inch.
Yeah.
It's,
Ooh, that's a sweet looking ball python, boy.
Shut your whore mouth.
That's a highway, right?
That's a highway.
they're unbelievable.
That's the first
You guys
thing I
don't-
thought. I was like, man,
you
that's a
don't
sweet
deserve it.
Mojave highway.
You guys don't deserve to see this thing.
That's a
That was cool.
ball and Mojave stripe you got there.
Well, that's like the other day in the group chat. Cox was very excited about the albino breadlie, and then like I looked at it and I was like, "Wow, that's a good looking animal." And they told me it's not an albino breadlie; it's an albino Darwin breadlie cross, and I was mortally disappointed.
No, it's fine.
no, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
There's a guy overseas. He keeps posting this albino that has so much white on like the first third of it, and then he finally put out that it was 25% jungle, and it made so much sense because with all that black, that's going to turn into straight white. You know, gorgeous animal.
Yeah.
I got a friend in.
See, it's funny. It's funny. Phil mentions the fact that he likes carpets because you don't really know like how they're going to turn out as they get older. But like that's exactly why chondros are so awesome, because even the best of the best in chondros
But that's a little
cannot tell you.
Yeah.
Cannot tell you. Like you can have someone who's been keeping chondros for 30 years. They ain't going to be able to tell you any better than a guy that's been keeping them for a week how that animal's going to turn out.
You're right.
That's borderlining on stupidity, if you ask me. But
I love it.
there you go. I think carpets are.
Easy.
It's. I feel like you can. No, I feel like you can have a better hunch on it. So I feel like it's less of a crapshoot.
I made the
There's-
mistake
yeah,
of
there's things to look
messaging
at.
Bill Stiegel once to find out how much the babies of what's that snake that he has?
Sickness.
Yeah,
Sickness.
I asked them how much those were one time. It was like $5,000 for a baby that you don't know what's going to look like. I was like, eh.
But at
Well,
the same
you
time,
want
with
some colors.
chondros, you can have something from that clutch that may not look like the sickness, but all those genes and stuff are still there. Like it's still the gold is still under the hood.
All those
Maybe.
genes and stuff doesn't work for me. I need more than all these genes and
Put
stuff.
that with a Biok and see, and I'll bet you get some really cool looking stuff.
I breed this together. I breed this together. I get 25% this.
There's no
50%
fun in that though. It's so predictable.
I can't do a Punnett square.
I like to live dangerously.
$5,000 dangerously.
Sure,
That's a lot of
If I
flow,
had
man.
$5,000.
As they say,
A lot of bone.
that's a lot of boxing.
I just bought those hypo het stripe possible het stonewash breadlie.
Oof.
And I felt like that was dangerous for me.
Yeah.
I
That's,
have a visual
that's-
male stonewash for sale. You could have bought.
Yeah, but these have stripes on them,
My man.
right?
Jesus.
My man.
Billy's got a boner.
I mean,
Those-
these are het stripes and they're striped. You know, it's wild.
Casey is supposed to be producing some
Stripe stonewash stuff.
striped stonewash. Which
But
I
who's
want
keeping
to.
track of that?
I want to say Mutton's probably done that, but I think Casey's like the second guy to pull it off. I don't.
Is
know.
it just more drastic pattern or what's going on? Did
the
it,
stonewash stripes?
did Nick
I want to
produce
say
him?
the stonewash actually doesn't it wash out the stripe?
Yeah, probably. I haven't. I don't even think I've seen one. Let me see.
I think the visual stripe het stonewash somehow makes the stripe better, more clean.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like those really nice ones that what was it, Jeremy Tierjan? Is that
Yeah.
his name? Yeah, he got one from Nick that was like completely striped.
Yeah,
Like,
I got them from Nick. It's not a full stripe. It's broken up a little bit, but they're still pretty striped.
I don't know. I feel like Mutton beats everyone to the punch on a lot of that stuff. But I mean, at the same time, he's been working with so many of these things for so long, like long before anybody got their hands on them.
Well, he always says he has like 30 breeder females.
I believe it. I mean, given all the stuff that he's done.
So has someone taken it all the way? Stripe, hypo.
I don't think we're there yet.
No,
Almost.
not yet. I don't think. Well, maybe he might be hiding it in his back room.
It's out of Nick, Casey, and Paul Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those guys.
Yeah, there's like a race. I want to see if he has any inlands right now.
Yeah, mine will be ready next year, but we'll see.
Dan, you got inlands?
No, that's the one. That's the last part of the complex that I'm missing.
He's got a nice
So-
scrub for sale right now.
Well, what do you got?
Can have that.
What kind of scrub?
Southern Highlands says Tanamera locality, which I have not heard of.
¿Cuánto?
He's starting to post
$800. What?
He's starting to post Nova Guineas all of a sudden.
Really?
Because he heard you pipe up about him, and he's like, "Oh shit."
Said he didn't produce them for a couple years, and they pop up out of nowhere.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
I love Brettles, man. They're just so pretty. I don't have the space for more than my pair that I have.
The Superior Morelia.
Agreed.
Such awesome snakes. His stonewashes are freaking nuts too, dude. I mean,
All of his stuff is incredible. It's ridiculous. Even his normals, they're not LASIK lines. They're like the higher end lines.
what am I looking at? And that's like almost everything he has for sale right now are freaking Brettles, man. Good job. Those hypo stonewashes are sweet.
Yeah.
Makes me feel kind of funny, like when I used to climb the rope in gym class. Those Rockhampton coastals are sweet too. It's all awesome. It's all sweet.
Yeah.
Brisbane coastals, caramel, anything is awesome. I'm a sucker for caramels.
His those ivory jungles that he's been working on forever, like that just goes to show how far you can take selective breeding.
Mm-hmm.
I have one of his 50% ivory zebras.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, even his normal jungles are nice.
Well, that's why I got to get one of his Gelatins.
Those are sweet too. His
So
normal Darwins, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah. There's that one. If you go down, it's like the fifth one. I think it's a 2017. It's got some really nice orange banding on the side.
Show us, Justin. There we go.
Look at these friggin' things, dude.
Go down. Yeah, go down a little bit.
It's like baby Bolins.
Oh, wait. It's not there anymore.
Oh, that is a bright young
That
jungle.
stripe. That other stripe.
Yeah, I have a pair of
He's
those.
getting excited again.
Yeah, I have a pair of his Palmestons that are striped.
Yeah, I need to get into those. I'm just so picky with them.
Well, one of mine is actually yellow.
Yeah.
Not the gold.
Actually, yeah, I've seen you post. How far away are those from producing?
2 years. That one right there.
This head albino?
That in the middle right there. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that is a nice one.
That's awesome.
Because my female only takes chicks.
Me too.
So, she's going to be a little ways off.
Oh, look at that middle one.
Hey,
Wait, stop on
Yeah.
this one?
I kind of like the ones that are more saturated with really like messy pattern.
They are unique that way.
Call that cryptic.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, the scrub was all the way down here. The scrub is really nice.
Yeah, let's see that Morlock.
He doesn't post them a lot, but he produces some nice Amazons too.
That's where I got that one from, that orange one.
That's right, you told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, right here, Phil.
post them. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, look at that. That's awesome.
The iridescence.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It's great because he has the consistency of the photos, like in terms of the animal being balled up and showing the good dorsal pattern with a little bit of the side. It's got a good head shape.
Yeah, I'm amazed that he got all these Brettles to sit still, because if you ever try to take a picture of one of these bastards, they don't sit still, ever.
I mean, I'm sure he's doing like
He must be bold. Yeah.
It took me forever
It's in the freezer for a few minutes.
pictures of 15 snakes from my site.
Well, like you have trick techniques like the deli cup technique and like the baseball hat technique, where you take a snake and you roll it in a ball forcibly, cover it with a baseball hat, and then you have your camera. You go 3, 2, 1. You take the hat off and real quick, But you have to do it 20 times to get good stuff like this. Excuse me. Very
Well, he
important.
puts them in a bucket, doesn't he?
I mean, they're in some sort of cup, but still, like, Brettles
Yeah.
would shoot out of that thing in a heartbeat.
Yeah, or just
Yeah, he just, look at that. Holy shit.
That hypo stripe.
Yeah,
you and those stripes.
They're all nice.
Billy
I know
and
my
his
lane.
stripes, man.
I know my lane.
I'm with Joe, man. I like the zigzag, crazy, faded pattern, crazy kaleidoscope,
Five more stripes for me.
I mean, looking at these almost makes me want to not get rid of my stonewash.
And hey, Justin, just to switch gears real quick, he has Varanus pilarensis on there too, right?
He has what?
Varanus pilarensis?
I don't know. Not on this for sale page.
Oh, okay.
I'm not seeing him.
Okay. Never mind.
Oh, does he have Russian burger eye?
Yeah, he has them.
Those are very close, dude. Those are very close to the top of my list of stuff I want to, man. Those Rushis are freaking sweet.
Doesn't Ian? Well, Keith produces them, but they're Ian's.
Well, Ian has one right now, from what I understand, and it's been a really troublesome feeder from like the get-go.
That sucks.
So, but yeah, I think him and Keith are working on.
Because they do joint things with a few projects.
And Warren Booth is supposed to be producing some this year too, I believe.
You like those Jensens too, right?
Yeah, I do.
That's right. You know, years ago, I almost got a jet black one.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Really? Like no olive on it at all?
No, it was.
I've seen some
completely
wacky
jet black.
ones, man.
They're so I don't know how to say it. So Wesley. So
Louise.
Oh, Wesley?
yes, that one.
Wassy?
It was one of those, and the guy was going to sell it to me for $350, adult female, established and everything. And then it was like right when Facebook was starting, and he was like, "Oh, I just posted it in this group, and guys are saying I have this crazy thing, so I think I'm going to hang on to it." It just disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, those are on the top of my list too. They come in with they get tongue worm, is what I've heard.
What?
There's nothing you can do about them. Nothing you can do about it. To
Man,
spend that money, you know, that's a lot for
Look at
something that's
that.
going to die.
I don't care what anyone says. Joe, I apologize, but when it comes to corns, Love and Abbott line Oketees
Hands down.
are all that matters.
That was my first snake.
It was all of our first thing.
Yeah.
God, look at that.
Yeah, I got some
250
Abbott's
for the
paired
pair.
up right
Yeah, I missed out on some of the ones you produced last year, man.
now. They've hooked up 3 times.
I was really
like
bummed about
cleaning- Yeah, it was like cleaning a porno set today, so I should have some.
I'm going to put you down for a second.
Yeah, man. My first snake ever was Okatee, and I got impatient, and I wound up trading it back in and getting a subadult that already had the good jet Sharpie marker black to it. I missed that snake.
Yeah, this was that pair I was talking about, that het snow pair of Subox.
Wow.
There, yeah, that top one looks like a black gap almost.
God, they're just so cool, man. Like the snow, I really don't even care about. Like every snow of any animal ever looks the same. But
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Can we see what Joe's doing? What's Joe doing?
That's the Miami Okeetee girl's about to
Oh yeah.
land.
Hey, zoom out. Let's see.
Oh wait, there we go.
Nice.
Go full screen.
That is pretty.
Yeah, so I bred her to a reverse Okeetee.
Wow.
Yeah, I like this girl.
Nice.
Obviously, she's got shitty light on her. That's my favorite Okeetee, basically.
Very cool.
Hey Joe, did those Slowinski rats go?
I was drunk when I told you that. It's gonna be next year. I thought I had misremembered.
Misremembered.
Thanks, Joe. At least
I
you're
was
honest.
all excited and shit.
I was too.
Yeah. There's one though in an enclosure back there, that crazy rainbow one.
Oh yeah, I could really see it. That's awesome.
Can't you see him up there?
Yeah, I saw it. That was cool. Thanks for that.
Perfect, right?
Yeah, those are neat, man. I like that they're doing those. Those are cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully, I'll get a bunch of things in displays eventually instead of having fucking Tupperwares.
Well, I like the fact that they make those so that you could do like a vivarium in them if you wanted to. Like they make it deep enough on the bottom to where you can do the substrate layers and stuff.
Yeah, it's an easy probably 4 inches or so, 3 to 4
And-
inches. So
Oh, Phil done died.
Yeah, I just had to go get a charger, and I found out there's no outlets in my garage.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
about
Number 2.
past my bedtime, I think.
All right, man.
We'll do it again, though. Nice
Definitely.
talking to everybody.
Yeah, man.
See you later.
See ya.
Yeah, and we know what I like about those too, because the issue with like a lot of the glass tanks is if you want to add like a bulkhead to it to drain it without having to like siphon it, you have to drill glass, which is kind of a pain. And so with those, if you wanted to, you could easily add one, to the bottom or very low on the side. I'd imagine, and make it like a little spigot, so you could just open it up and let it drain. And because right now when I drain the dog tanks, it's kind of a pain.
yeah, it probably makes sense for a lot more things other than snakes, as far as because like it's top opening and stuff, so it doesn't really make that much sense for the snakes. But I have a side opening one that they built as well. But yeah, I like it. I think it looks cool. And then the other one like glows up all different colors and stuff. So it's cool.
It's just I like the sort of the modern twist.
Like the design hasn't been thought of at all.
Yeah, I know.
Like until now, yeah. So most people are just building boxes and putting a acrylic door on it. So it's nice to have something that looks different and cool and has like legit craftsmanship. Like
yeah, I mean the build quality just from the pictures looks really, really, really top notch.
I don't know if I'm supposed to show it.
Who's Noah?
So they like etched in the Port City Pythons logo.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, it opens from the top, which is inconvenient for snakes, but it would definitely work probably for lizard people and maybe even dart frog people, I'm guessing.
I'd try it with darts easily. Probably look dope as hell with darts.
Oh, there's a Swinsky, yeah.
Look, he's like, what are you doing walking by my cage?
One day when you're not drunk.
Did we lose Noah?
Yeah, he left. He had to go.
Okay. Yeah, my internet cut out, man. I was freaking out for a minute.
Yeah.
Justin, I tried to order some of those. What was the tub conversions? And he's
Yeah, David's sold out right now, which is, I mean, that's awesome that he's selling enough of them to have that happen. But
yeah,
I know Owen posted something about wanting to buy some today too, and they were out. So.
Have you guys had snakes up for sale during this whole thing? Or any reptiles for that matter?
I sold some Alterna before it all really started kind of taking off. And since then, I've pretty much, like, my dad still has some he wants to sell, but they're still being kind of a pain with food. So when people have been messaging me asking, I'm like, I don't have any right now. I like dealing with the hassle.
I turned down a really, really sweet offer on the rattlesnake that I needed. And hopefully the guy still has it. He's like one of the leading breeders of Clobberi in the country. And it was because I didn't want to spend the money on during uncertain times. You know what I mean? And
no, I'm on the same boat. Yeah.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, listen, man, that's a fair price. It's a stellar animal. He was going to eat the shipping. It was a great scenario. I was like, listen, man, I'm going to hold off because I don't want to dish out that much money because it's not like a $100 Atrox. And I was like, I don't want to dish out that money because I don't know what the hell's happening. And then literally like 2 days later, he's like, it's a good thing you didn't buy it because Delta stopped shipping of the venomous stuff or animals in general, I think, temporarily. I think they come back on, was it this week or whatever, next week? But
yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm glad I didn't do it, and obviously I didn't need to spend the money as of not yet, but still I was kind of like on the fence about buying anything because of that.
Yeah, I've shipped out a few animals and probably like 25% now are getting at least a day delayed. So I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. But even USPS orders, like normal priority that I send out isopods and stuff, instead of taking 2 to 3 days, it's taking 5.
Wow.
But orders are going crazy, man. Like everyone's shopping online. So if you have snakes available, it's probably a decent time to sell them. Not the best time to ship them, I guess.
Yeah.
I've only sold in state, so I haven't had any issues with shipping. It's been in state, so they can drive it there.
But was it the exact time frame that FedEx or UPS or whatever was supposed to do it, or was it still delayed?
No, everything was right on time.
Okay, cool.
Before 10:30 and all that stuff. Yeah.
Now I'm scared to ship out that snake on Monday.
I didn't catch that you were shipping out a snake.
Sorry, bro.
Well, hey man, pack it for a 48-hour trip. I'm sure it'll be all right. It's a good time of year.
And hey, I haven't heard from anybody about, God forbid, knock on wood, I haven't heard any issues in terms of animals being like left at the airport or whatever. So I haven't heard any of that yet. I was just hesitant because, like, I know with my luck, I would spend this money on the snake. It's going to be a friggin' wooden box on the tarmac for 4 days in Tennessee, and it's going to die, and I'll be sad. You know what I mean? That's why
I had one in Memphis for 24 hours, and then one in somewhere else, Indianapolis or something, for 24 hours. So not a big deal when it's cord snakes.
I sent one. How do you bring it up? I sent one to Seattle, and I had no issues.
Really?
Yeah.
Oof. Good.
Last week. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I felt bad because the guy had to wait like 3 months because it's Seattle, so the temperatures were crappy.
Yeah.
And
Finally
had
as far as we can go. Like that's as
Yeah.
far as we can go.
yeah, that's as far as I could ship. Yeah.
Dan, where are you sending your animal on Monday?
Looks like Georgia.
Okay. That ain't too bad. Yeah, and like it's funny because like we rationalize, we check the temperatures, we follow all the different weather apps and whatever, but like you kind of rationalize in your mind like what the species is, what can it tolerate, you know what I mean? In terms of packs or cool packs or whatever. And like even still with certain things, I still get weirded out. And I know that it's just like it's that human error, you know? And I just like, am I gonna get that one guy Friday at 5, you know?
Well, if it's close, like temperature-wise, I'll ship to the closest hub. I won't go straight to their house. So I think that helps out a lot too.
Yeah.
I have a buddy of mine, he does ball pythons, and he shipped one to North Dakota, and I think it got down to like 10 degrees or something.
Really?
But he shipped it to a hub, and everything was fine. Because it wasn't on a truck for the whole day or whatever.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So I try to do that if it's close. If it's in the 40s or something. I'm like, hey, let's go to the closest hub.
Yeah. At least if it's in the lobby and it's in the 50s, it ain't gonna be that bad, you know?
Yeah. The heat pack will take care of that.
Yeah. And Dan, what's the temp by you right now?
40, low 40s right now.
Do that.
And Joe, you're like in the 50s right now?
Yeah, probably 40s. Just around where Dan is. But I mean, and then it will be like 70 during the day. That just started, which is nice. But it's kind of tricky to ship sometimes.
It was a nice like 85 today.
Dude, it was like 92 down here, and I was dying. I was like, it's horrible.
This summer's going to suck, man.
Oh, this summer's going to be bad. And we're going to get storms this year. We are. Like, we're due. Like, legit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what else we haven't had in a while?
I bought a house, so I tried to get a pool, and they're like, yeah, we'll see you in November.
Jeez.
Yep.
That's right, because you guys got to close your pools up there. That sucks. Ugh.
Yeah, it's almost not worth it most of the times.
Yeah. I was going to say is we haven't had a Saharan dust storm in a while. You know what I'm talking about? We haven't had one of those in a while, Billy. We're due for that. Definitely due for that.
Yeah.
The fuck are you talking about? What happened? Where the fuck do you live?
I was thinking the same thing. I just didn't say it.
So, like every few years, major dust storms from Western Sahara like flow over. What are those islands right off the coast of Morocco and Western Sahara? What are those islands?
Africa?
No.
Africa?
So every year, every like 4 or 5 years, a major dust storm leaves Western Sahara and goes over Cape Verde, where it hits some kind of wind stream or something over Cape Verde, and it brings the dust storm right into Florida. And like for like 2 days, we have horrible rain and crappy weather, and the sky is like a pinkish hue because it's all the dust from Africa.
Florida's always telling you guys to go fuck yourselves, and you just never leave.
Yeah, you're right.
I just don't know any better, so that's why I stay.
It's good reptiles, though.
Yeah, man, we got them.
It's the perfect climate for these green trees everybody loves.
That is true.
Yeah.
You said green tree. I've never seen Justin turn so fast.
He did. Yeah.
I didn't say Jack Pondro. I said green tree. What is he doing?
He's playing with those wild corns, man, aren't you?
I'm cleaning this corn tub because he like shit everywhere.
It's a colubrid.
That's why I got rid of all my colubrid.
Burn.
But hey, I fed it the other day and I cut the mice, and those lumps are gone. Like those mice have been digested, and
Happens quick, man.
Good with them cuts.
no one the cuts, man. And Joe's the reason I even do that now. He's the one who should.
You know, I do the same thing on my ballpark Franks.
We've all watched Joe boil a mouse on his YouTube channel.
I actually haven't. I did not watch that.
And that's a good trick if you don't have colubrids to eat. It works.
I did have
I don't know why.
when I was many moons ago when I was a cricket boy at Underground, the retail store. Some guy came in with just a horrible, mortified look on his face. He's like, "How do you guys thaw out rats?" And we're like, "Well, most of us get a cup of warm water and put them in the warm water, whatever." He's like, "So you don't wrap them in a paper towel and microwave them?" The dude showed me pictures. It looked like you took a ladle full of like Dentimore soup and just the inside of a microwave. Horrible. Oh God. Oh.
So speaking of colubrids, have any of y'all messed with Phytias mucosus at all?
No, because we're not psychotic, really.
Yeah, because you're the only guy I know that's ever actually owned.
You're the only one who actually enjoys them.
Okay, so I always read that they are like they'll do this growling thing.
Yeah.
So I was cleaning my albino male, and he's probably about 3 feet, 3.5 feet. He's not that big. This thing, like just out of nowhere, started growling at me, and I freaked out. I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it at all.
Growling like a dog or like a king cobra?
Like a king cobra.
Wow.
Yes, Phil, like a dog.
Well, they're king cobra mimics.
I don't know. Like, all right.
Yeah, no, they're king cobra mimics.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't ready for like I've read it and stuff, but like when you're messing with them, you're not thinking about what you've researched.
Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
I got punched in the face, man. Yeah, I just wasn't sure if any of y'all have messed with anything that does anything weird like that or whatever.
I got a hognose that hisses at me.
My
I've
brother's
got pine.
Well, the pines, yeah. The pines are cool.
Pretty much any of the chondros, when you touch them, they like hiss.
I did a collection sale, and I ended up with a little bull snake, a little yearling one. And that thing, when it would get going, you could hear it in the whole room, like hissing and rattling and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
I always enjoy anybody who's never worked with Local Viper. We call them the lethal tea kettle because they huff and puff just like any other snake. But when they really get going, they have like this high pitched tea kettle whistle, and it's always fun because you tell people like, "Oh yeah, man, they have this tea kettle whistle, blah blah blah," and then someone sees you take it out or they take it out for the first time, and it makes a sound, and they make this face. This is the exact face. They go, like, "What is happening?" And that I would compare that to what you were talking about.
Yeah, for sure. I like froze. I was like, what? Because I didn't think it was a snake. And then I put him in his holding container and he kept doing it. And I was like, holy shit. You know, and you see him with those big eyes and they're really alert. He's like looking at me and I'm like, wow, that's okay. That's really cool.
So now you're gonna have to record every single time you clean his cage.
Yeah. Once he gets out of quarantine.
Hey, remember that one mycosis that Underground was getting in? I told you about.
Yeah.
I never got to see it because they pre-sold it before they even opened the bag.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody was just like, "I'll take it." You know,
some other sick bastard like Billy is like, I love those things.
Yeah.
It's psychotic. I'll take it.
Yeah.
It's fast. I'll take it.
My female is out of control.
Billy loves the fast, methy, spazzy snakes. He just loves snakes that when they escape, he can't catch them because they're just so damn quick. They teleport.
So you have them in rack system?
The albino male right now, yeah. The female's in a 5-foot cage.
Okay. And like on the rack, when you open the drawer, do they immediately just fly out at the light, or like, does it take a minute? I'm being serious.
No, I know you're being serious. So what I do, I know they're a lot shyer than a lot of other species. So I have hides in there, and then I take, because it's a quarantine setup, I take newspaper, and I crumple it up, and I basically have that over probably 3/4 of the cage.
Okay.
Where if I had them in a PVC cage, it'd be all cork bark and stuff where they could hide. He usually stays under that. That keeps them from bolting out.
Okay, so but like it's not to the point where you have to use a hook to open the drawer, because the minute it sees sunlight, it's like boom.
No, not at all. He's actually really cool. He hasn't snapped me, and he just growled because he was in a bad mood that day.
Do they do the very dramatic tail flapping like Carnata does?
I haven't noticed that.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
it's like flap, 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 flap.
Yeah, no, they just always double back. I've noticed that because like I'm still learning them, so I'm easy around them. I'm hooking them and stuff, and he'll just keep doubling back.
Climbing themselves too.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently they like to like bite and rip and all that. So
like gnaw and whatnot.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a nasty bite. So.
I believe it.
But
they're awesome. They are.
My radiated, he's big about death rolling.
Oh yeah,
I read about that in Timor rats, but I never heard it in radiated rats.
You never had your beauties death roll?
No.
Oh yeah, dude. Almost every single one I've ever had that was an import over 4 foot, they just like Dendrophila. Dendrophila death roll more than any other snake I've ever seen in my entire life. To the point where I tell new people, they're like, "Oh, I just got Dendrophila." I'm like, "Listen, if it death rolls, let go of its tail," because I watched a guy hold on to it and it just broke its own back.
Oh, crap. I loosen up to where it just spins in my hand, but I still support it, so I don't want to drop it.
You roll with it, right?
Yeah.
We got a couple big Dendrophila at the underground farm, and I was showing Carlos. I don't know if he's still watching. I was showing him, and he was taking it out. And I told him, I was like, "Listen, it's over 4 foot. It's gonna death roll. Just roll your fingers with it." And then he did, and he saw it. It's hard to explain because you think like death roll, like alligator, crocodile, whatever. But like watching this long ribbon of an animal spinning around, it's crazy.
Yeah, when they get going, it's pretty impressive. Yeah. I usually try to put them down too right away. I don't like things to be stressed out. So if they're displaying, if they're death rolling, if they're growling, whatever it is, like, all right, let me be quick about whatever I'm doing because I'm not trying to stress out what I have. They're already shy as it is. I want to add to it.
Yeah,
it's my thought.
Actually,
all the yellow rats that I catch, they'll do that.
They'll roll?
Yeah.
Mine in captivity do it well.
What's that?
Buddy of mine in high school caught a 6 foot yellow rat. Like, it was a monster. And first thing it did, nailed him right in the face. Like, zoomed in right on his face. That was it.
Justin, do your sign-on roll if you tail him?
No.
No?
They just try to get away.
I got you.
So Dan, you don't have any colubers anymore?
No, I got really tired of cleaning them all.
I get that. I get that.
There's
Yeah,
a couple of raccoons fighting down the street. I can hear them.
Nice. That's crazy.
Sounds like someone being murdered.
Phil, did you work for Underground, or did you just work with them? Or?
All right. So, like, I would consider myself, and I'm sure they would as well. I would consider myself part of like the Underground family, whatever. But I was a bullshit cricket boy that worked in the retail store and was just a general sales kid, you know, whatever.
What a nerd.
What's that?
What a nerd.
Yeah. And it was a very much a love-hate scenario, fired, rehired, that kind of thing. But it came to a point where I was not working for them. I was actually, at the time, I was working for Jay Eaton from the Jungle, and they had nobody doing their venomous program. So, which is basically like a mentorship, apprenticeship kind of thing. And the owner was like, hey, man, I had this one guy cleaning cages for rats, but he's not good. I mean, to call it bluntly, he was a cokehead. And they basically got rid of him for obvious reasons. And I wound up coming in, and I had a couple guys that wanted to get hours. So I started doing the classes and whatnot. And then it just snowballed. And I've been doing the classes for like 13 years now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it's good, man. I go to the retail stores down the street from my house. So, you know, I'm good friends with the manager of the store, and I go there probably 3-4 days a week just to hang out for like an hour after work. And I go to the farm. It's supposed to be twice a week, but right now it's been once a week with all the COVID and everything. And I got 2 guys there now. Hen Dog, who is, God bless him, he's there more than I am, taking care of shit. And then Carlos, who's in here as well. He's a new apprentice, and he's kicking butt. He's learning. It's good.
Sweet. I need some morning geckos. Where can I get some morning geckos? I want a wholesale group to start a big colony.
Man, I haven't seen them in a while, to be honest. Do you get Strictly's list or no?
No. I get Underground Bushmaster. That's pretty much it.
Where do they come from?
Hawaii typically now. I believe they're invasive in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
And
where would we get them as far as like an import? Hawaii's not going to import to us.
I'm not sure how they come in the country. I have no idea.
Do they?
Oh yeah. Well, Jackson's chameleons too.
I was gonna say, Dan Maliri, he'd be another one to reach out to. You can get a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I would honestly say Strictly has a thing. I think it's like $15 for the year. As long as you have an actual business, you can get on their wholesale list for like $15 a year. And then I don't know if it's every day or once a week, they send out an email with everything they just got in from their most recent shipment. And they usually have, you know, the mornings and skeletons and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I may be able to find, I could find like groups of 10 captive born and bred. So I may just go that route, but I don't know.
Yeah, it couldn't hurt, you know. You won't have to worry about,
I'm novice.
You won't have to worry about parasites and drop tails and regen tails and all that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're really not even that expensive, captive born and bred. But
Say Josh's Frog sells them periodically, I think.
Do they?
I don't know how cheap. I don't think they'd be very cheap. They seem to be pretty high on a lot of their stuff.
yeah. Now I don't know. With things like that, I want to buy. I got used to buying like isopods, buy everything in hundreds and 200s, and yeah. So it's like I want to do everything at mass more so. There's little things like that make great pets like that.
What did Justin call it? Micro pets? What are we calling them?
Micro pets.
Isn't that what we were talking about? How, like, you and I, we like little stuff, right?
Yeah, we like small, like micro species.
Dude, I want like a desktop gecko, you know, or like a Clemeri is something really cool in a nice little display, a little micro gecko.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, get binos. Binos geckos. First of all, they're Australian, which instantly makes them badass. Second of all, they're parthenogenic. So you get like 3 or 4 and just let them do their thing. You'll have 30 in no time.
Yeah, that's what I'm all about. Especially because I mean, every once in a while I need to scent some things, and I like to have some variety around to do that as well.
Sure. You'll have plenty of. You can have a live prey. You can freeze them and save them for later. You know.
Yeah.
Those were
I try to
actually
do
pretty
those
cool
when I
looking.
invite it.
What, binos?
Yeah.
Dude, binos are awesome, man.
So-
Phil,
Is that some type of abbreviation of the Latin name, or what are they called exactly?
It is. Don't tell me, Justin. It is. It's not Gera, is it? It's a
You told me
Gera.
not to tell you.
Gera bino. Gera binoi, right?
Jeez.
Isn't it?
I don't know, but I want some Mediterranean house geckos, and I don't know why.
No. Show
I
them.
can catch you some on my front porch.
Right,
Yeah, no, it's hard to say.
Justin. If you have the
Catch them and
binos,
send them to me.
if you have the
I can
binos,
seriously do that.
show them.
Well, first, I have to learn how to spell.
And can you keep it room temperature?
The binos.
They geckos like that?
It just looks like a regular day gecko.
No. Those are grandas. Hold on. How do I get to instant messenger?
Oh, it's like a weird leopard gecko.
Yeah, but
That's a lot.
you see how small it is on the dude's finger?
Yeah,
That's like almost full grown.
that's pretty sick.
$12.66.
Did y'all know I have a leopard gecko?
Oh wait, that's a poster. Never mind.
I would lose
Did
those.
what?
Yeah, that's the thing. They don't really make enclosures for animals like that, especially if you have your adult in an exo or something, and then you're having a bunch of eggs that you don't find and a bunch of tiny little babies coming out.
I have a baby Vanzolini froglet that is currently free roaming the cage.
What is a
Because I thought-
Vanzolini?
It's one of the little thumbnail dart frogs. And so I have 2 froglets that I was like, how come they aren't coming out of the canister? Like their tails look like they're gone. And so I tried to see them the other day, and I tipped one of them out, and it still had some of its tail, which is fine because all 4 legs are out. And then they start like basically their body absorbs the tail and uses that to feed it until it's like out of the water. And that one got loose in the tank, and so now I don't know if it's still alive or not. But they're like refusing to leave those canisters, and it's really frustrating because I just want to be able to pull them out and separate them so I can actually find them. Because when they come out of the freaking, like you thought they're small as adults, but you can imagine how tiny like the freaking froglets are.
So
And they take forever to come out. Like the whole process of like egg to froglet takes months. It's like, fuck.
Hey, Phil.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of spider geckos?
no. What is
So I
that?
remember reading about them like 15 years ago when I was still into lizards. And I always thought they were super cool. I've never seen them anywhere.
What is it?
It's a spider gecko.
That is weird, bro.
Show it.
Put it up.
What? That's freaking tripping me out, dude.
So I think they're from the Middle East.
Yeah,
I
they're
believe-
Persian spider
Yeah.
geckos.
Yeah. And they have like
What the hell?
big legs. Apparently they live in like rock crevices and stuff. Yeah, that 4th one over on the top is it.
That's cool. It's like a lanky fan foot.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just-
I remember there was a site that had this whole write-up about him, and then it just went away, like all websites do. But he had him. The guy had him in this setup that was. It almost looked like a African cichlid tank. You know, like how they do the rock walls.
Yeah.
It was just like that, but it was like to where they can get in all the crevices and stuff.
That's super cool.
You know what they look like?
What?
So,
Those things in A Quiet Place,
I
a
didn't
little
see it.
bit.
the
Yeah, I can see that.
aliens. Dude, that's exactly what they look like. That's strange.
So, just to go back to the binos for a minute, I put up a thing, Justin. I don't know if you want to do it. It's a video of my brother from down under, Elliot, when he was at James Cook University, his research partner did a whole study on genetics from bino geckos. So this is actually the room where he held all the binos, and I will press play. I don't know if the audio is going to play, but every single one of these tubs. Can you guys hear the audio or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Binos geckos. He's got these same heat mat things.
We were actually talking about heat tape and electricity and wattage and all that crap back when this video he sent me it.
Is he still doing stuff with them?
So Elliot graduated. He was actually doing the research with the rough knobtails, the Asper, and and his partner was doing the binos. But just gives you an idea of what they look like when they're adults.
Do your own wiring.
Oh,
So
Well, they're fast little things.
Oh yeah,
even though it's all it is just crimping.
but super simplistic. That was full grown.
Illegal for me to do.
I like it.
Certificate of being an
You
electrician.
need to have him do an article, dude.
I know on something.
Like that's the kind of stuff that I really want to have is like stuff like I've never heard of those before until now.
Yeah.
My ones are
What's
cut
funny
out,
is
but
there was a guy at
they spray, and
Daytona
then they don't.
who I'll stop it. There was a guy in Daytona who how do I stop sharing? There we go. Okay. Who had 3 of them in a medium deli on sand. And I was like, man, I should buy these. They were like $50 a piece at the time or whatever, $30 a piece at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I regret it. I should have done it just to have them because no one has them. They were probably smuggled out in a VCR or some shit.
I want some viper geckos.
Dude, we all want viper geckos, man. I just don't want to pay
They're
for
I
it.
so
wanted this
cool.
forever.
And dude, the
When I
giant
was-
frogs ones are gorgeous.
Travis Johnson has them, right? Have you worked with them?
I don't know. I'm looking at some right now. They're 175 each for males.
But they're aren't they super inbred? Aren't there issues when you breed them?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I heard that about them. That's why they kind of disappeared.
They're just cool. I don't even know why I'm looking at things with legs.
Dude, last night I was looking at super Dalmatian crested geckos. Like, I want to start a crested gecko project.
Oh god.
Dude, they're so easy.
But it's so stupid.
Oh, they're so easy. Like one pair is fine. Like one pair is
No,
is
dude, I'm
manageable.
I'm talking
Dude,
about
20
like
20
super
minutes.
Dalmatian, like a $600 gecko for just because. Just like to get like the best one of one particular thing. I just want that one project that's the absolute best that I could possibly throw money at, like just to get the one best animal. I don't know.
You got to get into the
I want to
examples.
approach one thing like no. I want to do something that's like line bred. I don't know.
No, I got you.
Super Dells
Oh,
are
no,
easy. to
Xanthic
produce.
or like Lily White are beautiful, but I don't want to mess with morphs anymore. Really, well, that's not true, but I don't want to get into a morph project where I need to actually like be competitive and people worry about your prices and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean Lily Whites and the Xanthics, those are going to come down quick. And we were actually, who was I talking to about this? Me and someone else were talking about rough scales yesterday. Oh, it was me and Luke Myers and David Brahms. We were talking about rough scales. I was like, because Luke was saying how bad he wanted some. I was like, dude, give him 2 years. They'll be under they'll be under $1,000 easily. Like, there's so many people produce them now. Like all of a sudden, like that bubble's about to pop, man.
It's good.
I see people popping out clutches of those all the time on Instagram now. I'm like, these things are going to be well within my grasp soon.
Well, they are that way in Australia because they are easy to breed. So I think people, saw this coming.
Oh
those
yeah.
are on my list. They're close.
Yeah,
Still does-
I would love that as like a $500 animal, $400 animal.
Still doesn't explain why inlands aren't more popular.
Did you see
I
that
look
one
at-
Justin Julian posted?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Have y'all ever met him?
We had him
No.
on PHP at one point. He's a really nice guy.
He is the nicest guy
He
ever.
is.
Like
He's
to
very
where, yeah, he was just so nice. I like was talking to him, and he smiled so much, and he was just so happy to.
nice.
Like,
He was
he was
like, what's
excited
wrong
to
with
talk
you?
to me. Yeah, I don't like someone that's so. Like I met a lot of people in Tinley that like I guess like we make people celebrities in the hobby type of thing.
Right.
And,
Joe.
like Joe, little Joe there, and yeah, so he came up, and I could talk to a lot of people because everybody wanted to talk to Jason, and I just happened to be there, and
You were the receptionist the whole time?
yeah, pretty much, and yeah, he was so nice and was like, he had no idea who I was. He was, yeah, a super nice guy.
Yeah, but I think it's fun when you find someone who can talk on a level that you can, because you can hang with that as far as talking about the species that he likes, and you both, share common ground with the Australian animal.
Yeah, I talked to him about knobtails because that was the first time I saw albino knobtails. Those things are incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah.
He's
Absolutely
another guy that
incredible.
just does so much stuff that you can't keep up with it all. Like he's worked with so much stuff over such a long period of time that it's like you
And he's
forget
done
all
the
the stuff he's
field work.
bred. Yeah.
Yeah, you go to his site, and all of a sudden you're looking at blue-tongued skinks.
Yeah. It'd be like Casey and get hooked on him.
I think someone who's like that is like Casey Lazick still has like just throws out heavy hitters like Western green rat snakes he bred this year. He did
That's no
shingleback
easy
skinks
feat.
a couple years ago, but he just has bred amazing things throughout his career, and it doesn't seem like he breeds a lot every single year. He just has like very focused projects.
Everything's very
I'm really
choice,
jealous of. Yeah.
which is nice.
I had some of his jungles for a while.
Yeah, Lazick line's still floating around.
My neighbor has, I think, a 25-year-old male from him. Sure enough.
Oh, Bill's here. Bill Bradley.
So not to go back to geckos, but I found that video from when Elliot did the remote transmitters on the back of the geckos. I don't know if you guys want to see that.
On the knobtails?
On the knobtails, yeah.
Yeah,
Check this out.
I am checking. Oh, wait, I got to post it. I'm like, what is he doing? I'm like, what are you waiting
Right
for?
here, you'll notice this particular one he marked number 22, and you can see the little backpack. that he
Look at
made.
that.
And then it's hard to see, but you'll see this wire coming out the back. That wire is actually the radio transmitter.
That's wild.
That's pretty
Is it
cool.
like a little collar?
It's actually a backpack. It goes.
Oh, so it goes over their arms.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And basically it makes me uberly depressed about keeping them in tubs because he was figuring out that the average gecko would traverse over 100 yards per night and then go back to where it started.
Huh.
It makes me feel bad because like they live in shoeboxes, you know.
Yeah, at least they don't have giant blue 22s on the back of them for the nearby birds. That's nice.
Well, he actually used whatever kind of marker he used. If you like lick your thumb, it comes right off. So he would do like 18 or 20 hours straight where he'd have to stay up drinking energy drinks, watching this thing on radar, and then he would find the gecko, take the backpack off, rub off the number, and let it go.
Dude, that's brutal work.
He did it, man. It's awesome.
That's like that documentary on king cobras that Nat Geo has on Disney Plus right now, where it was Ron Whitaker and some of his team, and they were literally following these king cobras through the freaking Western Ghats. On
Was that
foot.
the one where they end up, like the breeder female ends up eating
Yeah.
the male or something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
Like they're literally
Spoiler alert?
radio. Like you have to be within like 300 meters of this thing with the freaking radio telemetry, and they're having to follow this thing when it moves. And you look at the terrain. It's like that sucks. I'm exhausted watching it, but I'm also fat, so I get exhausted watching my child run across the yard.
I think it's crazy how all those guys go barefoot.
That too.
Walking through the rice paddies in India barefoot. Jeez.
Walking anywhere in India barefoot.
Yeah, right? Ugh.
I'm more worried about Russell's vipers than anything else.
Well, there was a thing I saw. Ram was doing a thing about like snakes of Asia or whatever, and he's in India, and there's like 3 or 4 women, plucking a field for crops, and there happens to be like a little cabbage palm tree right next to him. It's like maybe 4 foot tall, and he's like, these palm trees have the bark that bends to the sides, and the echis like to go inside them. And he has a little baby snake hook, and he pulls back like 6 or 7 panels of tree bark, and each panel has like 3 sawscale vipers in it.
Jesus.
So like that 1 4-foot tree had like 8 to 12 vipers in it, just chilling. Crazy.
I don't know if I'd rather get bit by a Russell's viper or freaking saw-scaled.
Yeah, half a dozen
That's-
together, bro.
How
Well,
about nothing venomous? How about that?
the longest guy that I'm aware of, and I could be mistaken, shit changes, but to the best of my knowledge, the longest guy to survive a Russell's viper bite without antivenom was 40 days, and he died of blood loss.
That doesn't
40
surprise me.
days.
Yeah.
That's a long,
Yeah.
long time to
Hell
sit
of an
there and
idiot.
dwell about your death and bleed out at the same time.
Hell of
Sounds
an-
like a mystical 40 days.
Right. I miss mine, man. My friend of mine, Mike, he's got a really, really nice, I don't know if it's Pakistani or Indian, but he's got a really nice one. And I want to get them again. They're just pricey, and I'm poor.
So I can't get off the geckos. Anyone ever mess with the cat geckos?
Dude, awesome.
Blazing cat geckos.
Awesome. Somebody,
Have you kept them?
I've never had them, no. It's above my pay grade.
Oh my
So
God,
I was gonna get into them years ago, and then I started reading like they needed reverse osmosis water, and you had to do all this extra shit and stuff to. So I guess like they build up, like the minerals in regular tap water, like will build up and block them up and all that.
Really?
Something along those lines, but yeah, those things are cool. I don't know if you ever kept them or not.
No, they look super awesome, man. But they're them and Aussie leaftails have eluded me for a multitude of reasons. So my man Tiki got a couple Aussie leafs. I don't know how big they are or whatever, but he sent me pictures of them like in the container. They look fucking awesome. Like
I think
that.
I talked to somebody about doing a article on those, I believe. Yeah. I found someone on Instagram who keeps those in decent numbers and hit him up.
Cool.
Because those are really cool. Like, I want there to be articles on like the obscure species that no one's ever heard of, or
Yeah.
I feel like there's plenty of information about a lot of the really common stuff, but stuff like that needs more attention.
Yeah, and nowadays it's easy to Google something, but the articles that you guys are producing and the people that are producing them makes it so much better, man. So much better.
Yeah, when I reach out to somebody, I already know what species I want them to talk about. Like when I got the cave gecko article,
Mhm.
that guy messes with other stuff, and that's like his main thing. The cave geckos is like a side project. But I told him, like, hey, we're trying not to do, popular species. We're trying to bring light to other stuff. So, yeah, the same thing. Some people are into it, some people aren't.
What's like the kid?
Billy has a hell of a time getting people to cooperate.
I don't know. It's so in person, people are like, I don't know, man. There's just something about your face I don't like. And then apparently a messenger, I don't know. Maybe I just come off. Maybe it's because my face is on my picture. I need to take that off.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the kid I made arrangements for the jumping spider guy, and because I want to do that job, I want to do an article on Regalis. And I asked him today, I was like, hey, man, how's Friday night? We'll hang out, we'll have a beer, and we'll talk about spiders. And he's like, yeah, I'm totally into it, blah, blah, blah. And I asked, I was like, hey, man, how many you got? He goes, between 700 and 800 adults.
They don't live very long, though. I mean, that's not.
Yeah, but that's a lot of deli
I
cups.
mean, that is a lot, but
That's a lot of deli cups.
having been an invert guy for an extended period of time at one point, you could fit that many in a very small space.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. At one point, I had over 100 scorpions, but still, like, that's a lot of deli cups.
Speaking
man.
of which, there's a cricket in the garage right now I want to catch and throw to that gracilis.
Do it.
Meanwhile, Dan's like, you guys are fucking nuts with your bugs.
I want to see him try to get up and catch the cricket.
Move though, man.
Fuck you, Dan. No, I talked to John Irby today, and he wants to send an article about about writing a piece on common sense cross-contamination prevention and one on line breeding strategies.
Excellent.
Which, I mean, if anybody's going to talk about line breeding strategies, like John Irby's the guy, because he's got some of the best condors in the world. You know.
Oh yeah, you mentioned, you texted me that earlier, right?
Yeah, and Billy's frozen in time.
The cross contamination.
I'm going to catch this cricket, Dan, just to prove you wrong.
We all accidentally break it.
Ow!
Probably moves like a gazelle.
Oh,
There goes Billy.
fucking Florida internet.
Little spiky leg got me on the finger and it hurt.
Oh, so
Got it?
how was that?
Eat it.
I think I won't.
Oh, you better.
So Dan, how was that aging room, man? Give us your notes.
I bought a box of them. They're pretty good. Yeah. A little pricey for what they are, but
Quattro's where it's at, though.
say again?
The Quattro's where it's at.
Yeah, it's good. I got the Connecticut. It's pretty good. I wanted something a little lighter now that the weather's getting a little nicer.
Yeah. Did you already feed it?
No, the Gracilis is in the snake room.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, Billy's just kind of sitting here in the background, just waiting on us.
My internet went out for some reason.
Fucking Florida internet, man. I'm in your boat. You got it.
Yeah, right? I paid my bill.
You're going to
We
die.
all remember a time when our parents paid the bill and sometimes it just turned off.
Come on, man. Give me more credit than that.
No, I was referencing myself.
Oh, okay.
Plenty of times in my youth when I go to use my phone and it doesn't work.
Hey, Dan, Joe, do you guys ever keep lizards?
I have.
Yes.
I've kept iguanas, bearded dragons, Tenosaura.
Nice.
Who's
I think
Tina?
that's pretty much it. With a C. Cteno. Tenosaur. But yeah, Tenosaur melanosterna, which is the Honduran black-chested iguana.
Hey, what'd you say? It cut out.
I just can't get used to feeding something every day. You know?
It's
Yeah.
so much more work.
Yeah.
Well, that's why none of us have them now.
Well,
Besides Phil.
What's that?
That's why none of us have lizards now.
Yeah, right.
yeah, I got 2 kids running around. I don't have time for lizards.
I used to order 1,000 crickets every 3 weeks.
Oof. How about this?
Thank
How about my dachshund got a curly tail lizard in my bedroom, and dude, now I am terrified. If one of my geckos ever gets out, oh my god, I'm terrified. Dude, that dachshund is gonna be the end of me. God forbid a knobtail gets out. Oh my god, that'll be horrible.
Dude,
They'll
I had
be-
a customer who has like cameras on all of his enclosures, and he just so happened to catch one of his crested geckos get out of the enclosure, and then his cat just come in the middle of the night and eat it.
That
Oh,
sucks.
Like,
That sucks.
That's rough, but yeah, that'll happen, man. If you have cats or one of those little dogs.
Yeah, I had that red M-Pen get out and came back 4 months later.
Oh, that's right. You did have that.
Yeah.
Where'd you find it?
I pushed the rack. I pushed one of the tubs back in on the rack, and it felt a little squishy.
Oh,
When I pulled it out, he was just sitting there on the heat tape.
is he good? You good now?
That's the red one that I took a picture of the other day.
Nice. Is he snappy?
Filter.
Horrible.
This is a Florida
Mine
Gracilis,
too,
right?
yeah.
Not the
Yeah, if I walk in,
Hispanic variety.
yeah, no, this is Florida. It's like 10 minutes from my house.
You know, is it true that the Hispanic ones are like way more toxic than the U.S. ones?
Yeah, so the rule of thumb is, and someone's going to yell at me because I'm always wrong on the internet, but basically, the farther south you go, the hotter they get. So, like, if you get stung by one in, like, Orlando, your thumb's going to hurt. It's going to suck. It's going to feel like somebody whacked your thumb with a ball-peen hammer. You come down to, like, where I am, and it's going to burn. You're going to get some fire in your hand. You go to the Keys, and you get stung by a Keys one, you're going to feel it in your chest. You're going to feel that venom go through you. and then the same species is Central American, and it's lethal.
Cool.
What was this?
Centroides gracilis, the Florida
Yeah.
mud scorpion.
I mean, you can't really see him, but
I retire in 6 years. Florida's not looking that good right now.
Nah.
It's not that bad.
And honestly, they're not a very defensive scorpion. Like, I've held it in my hand, and like, as long as you are the ground, you're fine. It's not
I
like
can't do any birds.
can't
this
do
is
any-
the one you sent me that was like in exile because it had killed like 3 females, right?
Yeah, so I got so he was like the biggest male that I got, and I got 3 girls that I put in with him, hoping that he would get some business done. And I put him in like on a Friday night. Saturday morning, one of the girls is gone, and he's got like legs sticking out of his mouth. And I'm like, okay, so much for them being friggin' communal. Oh, there you go. And then over the next like week or 2, he killed the other 2.
Nice.
Yep.
I haven't handled a scorpion in a hot minute.
Man, I
Yeah,
would.
when you sent him those, he was like, "Oh man, my boy Phil just sent me scorpions. That's so awesome, man." And I was like, "Oh, I guess you forgot I got you that bear's wrap." He was like, "Oh shit." It's like we're in competition for.
Billy Bittertits.
Yeah, right?
He's like,
My cricket.
did you lose the cricket?
No.
Okay, good. I was gonna say is when I sent him that, Katie didn't know me, and I was like mortified that she was gonna be like, "Who the fuck is this guy, Phil? Why is he sending lethal insects?" And be like all like upset. And like, thank God she handled it appropriately. And Justin didn't. I was expecting a phone call being like, "Dude, I'm sending them back. I'm sorry."
Well, I mean, the gracilis is one thing. The androgynous was another.
Yeah, Justin was a little concerned.
That one's up high. That one's out of the reach of small hands.
Well, and again, there was other ones that didn't make it. So there were other way more toxic ones that didn't make it.
Like what?
Well, I had an androgynous australis that I was grooming for you.
Oh yeah, and the Death Star.
And a Death Stalker. Yeah.
That's right.
So are you just trying to kill Justin, or what is this?
No. So, all right. So I've always been into scorpions, and I used to have a lot. Like, I had probably over 100. I probably had like 30 or 40 different species. I bred a handful of them, and I was slowly I got out of them, and then I got a handful of them to like get back into them, and I realized that I'm too lazy. And like, even though it's a bug in a deli cup, like I forgot I had them. And like at one point I had them in like a CB70 drawer, and like I forgot they were in there. And I was like, why is this drawer closed? Like there's no snake in there. And I opened the drawer, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I had bugs. And like they're like, ah. So I was like, you know what I'm gonna do is I wound up buying the bicolor specifically to give to Justin. And I was like, you know what, let me fatten these other ones up and I'll just give them all to him because he likes scorpions. And yeah, there we go.
I mean that bicolor is awesome, dude. He's a little tank.
Good.
Like,
Have you always liked scorpions, Justin?
I had a very hardcore invert phase at one point where I was pretty much keeping nothing but spiders and scorpions and very little in the way of herps. So there are some tarantulas and there are some scorpions I do miss keeping, but Phil was like, I'm sending you presents. I'm not going to tell you what they are. And I got it, and I was like, oh, sweet. I used to have a nice communal tank of gracilis, man. Those things were cool in a group.
Yeah, I think the container I had them in was too small. I don't think there was enough hiding places.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
This guy's in a shoebox with that.
Yeah, but he's by himself. He's not with other girls,
Yeah.
Hey, it's Miller time. Modelo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only beer I have in the house.
I'm actually empty. I've been procrastinating getting more.
I'm not
I need
a
to
beer
hose this guy down.
bourbon.
Yeah, man, there's more bugs I want. It's just like now I'm super picky. And there's actually a couple dudes in the U.S. that are, for lack of a better word, they're line breeding rare species of scorpion. And they're doing it because obviously they love the bug, but they're doing macro photography. And dude, some of these macro pictures are so amazing. Absolutely amazing. And a lot of it's species that like I never saw in the trade or in import or anything. So like it's interesting. I was lucky a couple of years back. A friend of mine, there was a species of bark scorpion out of Cuba called Ramphiophis junceus. It was the Cuban devil, and it basically was a red body with like flaming red legs, and then like a yellow piece of the tail, super pretty. And a guy in Sweden smuggled them out of Cuba, bred them in Sweden, and then sold. He only wound up having like 4 or 5 babies. Sold those to my friend in West Palm, and I got 2 of them from him. And I was like, man, this is like a holy grail scorpion, you know? And we had them, and they all died. And I was like, I'm done. I'm out. That's it.
Is there a huge market for inverts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's like it legitimately, in my opinion, is a separate subculture of herpetoculture, because like
I can believe that.
It's hard to find. I mean, obviously you guys don't keep bugs. I mean, well, no, Joe's got all the isopod stuff, but like, it's very hard to find the average herper not have some kind of bug. But then you'll also find invert people that's all they have, and they would never even consider having a lizard or a snake.
And does that person go to reptile shows?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Totally.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah. I mean, and then you got some diehard invert guys that like, you know, for example, all right, so my old coworker, he moved to Georgia, and his girlfriend bred Cresties, and she had like 300 or 400 adult Cresties. She was like really doing it. And something happened, and she just got sick of geckos, and she basically slowly sold off her entire collection of all her breeders and everything. And now she's doing Gramostoma pulchra, the Brazilian black trout.
Ooh, I love pulchra, dude. Those
hands down
sexy.
My favorite spider. Okay,
always wanted some, never had any.
All right, so for those of you who don't know, so pulchra is, everyone knows what a rose hair tarantula looks like, right?
Sure.
Okay, the pet trade. Picture a rose hair that gets as big as my face and jet black, just
velvet
jet black, and totally friendly and like handleable, you know. So she got some juvenile pulchras, excuse me, and she raised them up, and now she's getting egg sacs like, I don't know, like once a month.
Damn.
And what she's doing, because you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of baby spiderlings, she's doing the theory of keep them all together, let them fertilize each other, and then you're getting the biggest, strongest bugs.
Kill off the weak, yeah.
Right. So if she has 400 babies in an egg sac, maybe 70 or 80 of them make it to their second or third molt, and they're just diesel, just ready to go. And then you figure each one of those babies you sell for what, $75, $100?
Yeah.
How many would usually be in a sack?
300 or 400, depending.
Yeah, a couple hundred easy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
that's insane.
It's kind of like frogs in a way.
Yeah, very, very similar. Very similar. And then I know that some tarantulas, I don't know exactly which one because I'm not a big spider guy, but some of them, the mother turns the egg sac.
Yeah.
So then
a lot of them do.
Yeah, so now you get these invert guys. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you get these invert guys that they buy. They go to like flea markets and stuff, and they get old watch winders, and they just dismantle the watch winder, and then they basically take the egg sac and they tack it in there with a little bit of adhesive, and the watch winder turns the egg sac at the appropriate rotation or whatever it is. Like that.
Now, does the mom do this? Can this be replicated in captivity? So,
yeah, they call it the mechanical mom.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do that. People just choose to do that.
No, certain species you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you also have to worry about a lot of species. Like a lot of the females will eat the egg sac, like if they get stressed out or something, or if they don't. I guess if they just, for the hell of it, because it's a spider, they'll eat the egg sac and everything in it.
Yeah, I think it also has to do with too between true spiders and tarantulas, because like I know a lot of true spiders, they don't rotate their egg sac.
Yeah, no, I think it's almost entirely a tarantula thing.
Yeah, like I mean, everyone who's ever kept black widows, they've had an egg sac at one point.
Yep.
And like we always just left that egg sac be, just leave it alone.
I miss keeping blacks too, man. Like that's the Latrodectus stuff is some of the most interesting, like behaviorally interesting species I've kept spider wise.
Yeah, for something that literally does not have a brain, but shows thought, I find incredibly intelligent.
Like you throw, like you have an adult female black widow, right? You throw like a big ass roach in there, and just watch them go to work. Like it's nothing. It's freaking cool, man. Like you see them methodically just go and like hog tie a leg, pull it up, hog tie another part of the body.
Oh, they
Yeah.
get lazy, man.
Dan knows.
That's the closest I'll get to a black widow.
And just watch them like crucify this freaking bug, and then you see them like bite the leg, and then they just like they'll wrap it up, and they'll periodically go back to it, and they're cool, man.
And like anybody who's ever kept widows specifically, the web is, I think, arguably one of the strongest materials in nature. And dude, it's crazy because like we'd have an egg sac, you'd get mom out, and like you just gently coerce mom out, and she goes in the next deli cup. But then like you go to like try and cut that egg sac out, like get that egg sac out, and dude, it's like cutting steel wool. It's so tough. And then I had a gun collector friend. He was telling me that in World War I, they would use Black Widow webbing to make crosshairs. Scopes. Yeah.
What?
Yep, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Awesome bugs.
They are neat. I don't see many blacks around here. We have browns everywhere, but I'm pretty sure you have browns anywhere you go in the world that isn't, Antarctica. Yeah,
We have blacks everywhere here.
Yeah, that's a nasty bite too, man.
Yeah, there's a. What's that?
You want to talk about painful? Like the bite reports I've read, sounds like they suck. Like you're probably gonna live, but you're like your whole body's gonna cramp up, and like you're gonna be stuck in the fetal position for probably most of the night. And
I believe
we have Black Widow antivenom with the antivenom team I'm a part of.
Oh, really?
Really?
Just for that, yeah, it happens enough.
Well, I remember like a few years ago, there wasn't any that was legal in the U.S. Like the USDA hadn't approved any. Because I remember watching some show where some kid got bit by one, and they had to go and like smuggle antivenom from Mexico into the States.
What?
Because there wasn't a Black Widow antivenom that had been approved by the FDA or USDA, whatever.
Interesting.
For use.
Yeah, it's good. It's good now.
So imagine how difficult it is to make that shit. Think about the yield you're getting per spider on that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Black widows.
I mean, Dan makes the milking joke, but like, have you seen the electrolysis that they use? So basically, there's a couple different ways to do it, but one of the coolest ways is they take the spider, they suspend the spider on an apparatus that I don't know if it's an adhesive or if it's suction, but it holds onto the abdomen of the spider because you got to be careful because they're frail and their bodies are pressurized. So like if you take a tarantula and you poke it in the abdomen with a pin, it's gonna because
all the major organs are there.
You regardless of whether you damaged the organs, you broke the pressure because they have no skeleton. So it's all extra, you know. So what they do is they suspend the Black Widow, and then they have like the tiniest little soldering iron that has electric current.
Mm-hmm.
And you touch the electric current to the venom gland, and it squirts out the venom.
This poor thing thinks it's being abducted by aliens and butt prodded.
Right?
They don't live very long though. Black Widows only have a lifespan of like a year.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I found actually in the ones that I was keeping, I found if you fed them a lot, they died faster.
Really?
Like if you fed them like once a month, like once every other month, they lived a lot longer. But if you fed them like constantly, you'd kill them fast. The females would die really, really
I'm
quick.
okay with eating something once a month.
Me too.
That's right on schedule.
Right.
So hey Billy, what does the venom team do with the anti-venom after it's expired?
Drink it.
Those the vet industry uses those for dog bites.
Damn it! So like they can't just like fall off the back of an ambulance.
No, so
You wouldn't have to have any Geckos antivenom that just happens to fall off the back of your drink. You just leave this on the curb of the firehouse, and Phil will be up there to grab it.
Yeah, I'd just be happy to be in the neighborhood. You know?
Dump it in a trash can, give him the coordinates.
Yeah.
no, it's expired, but they sell it to veterinarian clinics, and it's like half price or whatever, which is still $1,000 or $2,000 a vial.
Right.
And that's what they use for dog bites.
Extortion.
What's that?
It is, by the way, extortion.
Yeah, well, 54 what is it, like 5,400 a vial for like CrowFab or something. Don't quote me on that.
That's no, I got you on that, but that's a fucking sham, man, because it's highway robbery on the pharmaceutical companies. Don't even get me started.
Well,
so are you guys only stocking CrowFab or no?
No, we have CrowFab. We have some exotic stuff because there's people that keep exotics in our area, and then Black Widow.
So do you know what the exotic ones are?
Not exactly. I know we have some Cobra stuff.
Okay. You don't remember like the brand names?
I don't. No. It's been a little bit since I've been up to the bank.
Do you remember a name named Polyserp?
I don't.
Ring a bell? Damn it. All right. Polyserp is supposed to be out of New York, I think. Henry's going to yell at me because I'm going to get it wrong. But yeah, that stuff looks really, really good, man. It's domestic.
Yeah, from what I was told, the anti-venom is so expensive because I think like the CrowFab, it has to be made in like Australia. It has to be made with animals that aren't from the area that it's native to. So like I think they use like lamb or something, sheep over there, and they process it through them or something. Something scientists do. But apparently it's a big ordeal. So they ship the venom over there. They do what they do with the animals there, get the anti-venom, and then they ship it back.
And
so that's why the big price tag.
I was always told that it's because A, it's domestic, B, they got to pay all those FDA people, C, they got to pay all those pharmaceutical people, and D, they want to make it hard to get for a reason.
E, all of the above.
Yeah. Which is crazy because like Henry and I were just talking. So like, for example, a polyvalent hemotoxic venom, antivenin, excuse me, like CrowFab, whether it be $2,800 a vial or $3,000 a vial wholesale to the hospital or what have you, a similar medication from, say, the Thai Red Cross is approximately $80 to $100 a vial. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, yeah. There's definitely markup because guys got to make money.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Get into the business. Oh, trust me. I see it at the fire department, too. There's things that they don't give us that we should have for the front line because of money.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing there. It sucks, but you can't change it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Joe's getting some geckos.
I'm just trying to stay awake right now.
I know you've been winding down for a while.
Yeah.
I'm wound. I am wound down, man.
It's witching hour.
Did you get the text yet?
No, but Riley did just send me a message about an error that me and Billy both missed in this issue of a duplicate paragraph on the Morelia Spotlight. Damn it.
Can you live edit it, or do you need to upload it all again?
No, I'd have to upload it all over again and mess up our stats.
Is it that bad of an error or no?
It's enough to annoy me.
Touche.
But he said that's the only one he's seen. I didn't either. I'm really irritated. Balin's gonna think I'm a freaking joke, dude.
Nah, it's understandable.
Well, he was talking to me the whole time, so I'll be the joke.
You guys need to just have me proofread everything.
Well, we both took our time, went over it. I made sure, I went through, made sure all the margins and everything was lined up right. Everything was tucked in. There wasn't any duplicate paragraphs. I was like, sweet. This one's gonna be 100%. And then Riley just burst my bubble.
Well, I mean, nothing against Riley. I love Riley, but you should send it to me a day or two early, and I'll proofread the whole thing, and then Riley can yell at me for missing it.
But me and Billy both looked at it. We're like, hey,
we both looked at it.
Yeah. What is on me?
In my defense, I did tell you I didn't do that well in English. So,
I don't recall that.
Oh, hell yeah. That was
Yeah,
my talking about. Is there another one I don't see?
My mother's an English teacher and my father's a journalist, so I'm screwed. I have to know it.
Send it to me. I'm a garbage man.
There we go. We'll just send it to everybody. Then they'll proofread it and be like, all right, we good to put this thing out?
Phil's article has an error. Damn it.
Uh-oh. Is that bringing
amateur hour? Billy, we really suck, dude.
This magazine now.
Do you guys like read it backwards at all, or like how do you proofread?
I just read through it.
Where is this?
It sucks. All these people that spent money on it, it really screws them, you know?
Just hope it was like an interesting paragraph that we want to read again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we did that on purpose, so you made sure you got the point.
We really wanted to emphasize that content.
Oh, I see it now.
What is it?
Damn it.
Is it my mess up?
No.
What does it say?
Brenning.
Oh, yeah. And, dude, I read that 2 weeks ago when you sent it.
See what I'm saying?
I read it twice. I went through the thing twice.
You know what it is because our mind reads it as bringing.
Mine is like...
Oh, yeah?
Because
That's why you got to read it backwards, man.
I've been staring at it repeatedly as I'm designing it, and I'm like, everything's fine. Like, I don't want to have to look at it again because I've already looked at it for, like, hours. It's like I don't want to continue. I don't want to have to read it again. I've already read it.
It's perfectly imperfect.
It just shows everybody that we're human.
It does.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, if they're expecting a professional level magazine,
they can't bitch. It's free.
That too.
Exactly. Now, if we were charging people, okay, I could see it being a
We
problem.
remind each other of that all the time. Anytime there's an issue, Billy's like, bro, it's free. And I'm like, oh, you're right. And then Billy's like, man, no one will write for this thing. I'm like, it's free. And he's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It's a give and take.
Oh, we got stats just came in.
Nice. What do you got?
135 reads.
Cool, man.
That's pretty good.
I mean, that's better than some of the other ones that within the first 12 hours.
Shit, it's better than this show.
Yeah.
Where do you read them? Where do you find them?
On Herpetoculturemagazine.com.
We also have a group now.
Or the link on every single one of our Instagrams.
Or on all of our Facebooks.
Yeah, it's on it's free digitally online. And then if people want hard copies, they can buy hard copies. They are expensive because they're pretty much made to order, and I don't have control over that. I try to make it as cheap as possible.
They're nice magazines. I got one of them, the hard copy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm actually that the first thing when you type in herpetoculture on Google, the first thing that pops up is magazine and then podcasts.
For real?
That's pretty awesome.
I just did it.
You're in the Google. You're in the Google circle. You got the first one, Joe?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
You liar.
Yeah, I got it, and I framed like the cover and my article and stuff for the office.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little self-indulgent, huh? Now that I say it out loud, but yeah, I liked it.
Any one of us that says we wouldn't do that is full of shit.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Justin,
I appreciate the support.
Share my screen. I'll show you.
I just Googled Herpetoculture, and we were like the fifth. Well, yeah, if you Google, of course it's going to come up first.
Oh, look.
Herpes.
Oh, you mean like the actual search?
Yeah.
I see. See, when you hit actual search on Herpetoculture, that's not what the first. Those aren't the first two things that come up.
I'm sorry. Look, magazine, podcast. Bam.
I like it.
Really cool.
Bam.
Now we got to get the third one to say Herpetoculture Justin Smith, and then we'll have it complete.
Dude, I bet you people are so sick and tired of my name and that word together.
Nah, they love it.
I'd hate me.
I was looking at that meme that James made of you.
Which
again?
one?
The one where it's like, how can I be more relevant?
Yeah, how can
I? That was awesome.
Oh, the website's not loading.
Hey,
There it is.
don't. I've already got enough bad news in my errors. Don't start.
It's there. It's there. It looks good. Look at that. Boom.
I gotta update the banners.
Buy copies.
I've been super slack about that whole front homepage. Look at Billy.
This one.
Billy talking shit.
Nobody can see. I'll wait till it's bigger so everyone can see it.
There's a bunch of articles I still have to put on the website too. I mean, I literally have a backlog of about 5 issues to put on there.
Look at these guys. Look at them. Look at them having fun.
I think if you keep scrolling, there might be someone else on there.
I love that shirt. I absolutely love that shirt.
Oh, look at that guy.
We got to change that to the iguana bucket picture.
Oh, I honestly hate that picture. I don't know why I sent it to you. But whatever. It's all for the love of the game. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's getting to the point now where even with that, like, couple days before we start working on the next issue,
can y'all see it or not?
That's still not enough time for me to get get the backlog of articles onto the website. So now it's only getting worse as we go.
You'll catch up.
Did you talk to Pinko or Pink Show or whatever it's called about the shopping cart?
Yeah, they're no help. They're like, yeah, we know. Sorry, we can't do anything about that. I'm like, okay.
Fucking stupid, man.
It's on the docket of things to continue to search.
No, like, I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying, like, they're stupid. Like,
they're in the Netherlands. I don't have any control over it.
I thought you said it was made in Washington State.
Well, that's where they send the file to the printer. Like, they basically expedite these orders to printers throughout the world.
Okay.
And I guess pay that printer a certain amount. And
so
then
how do you find that printer?
I don't know. I think it's completely random because the last one I ordered came from Canada. So.
All right. I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, there's got to be an easier way.
Yeah.
Hunt them down.
Just find it.
I mean, like, MagCloud, who has the shopping cart option, they have an InDesign template you can use, but I'm super worried that it's going to have all the content super smushed in to where, like, the magazine is now going to be even longer because all the content now has to fit in a much smaller area, so therefore I have to make pieces lengthier to make, to compensate. And
yeah, I
don't know.
Is there like a support person you could reach out to before you even try, just to see?
I've been meaning to upload one and then email them and be like, is this really as bad as I think it's going to be? But
all right, guys. I'm going to cut out.
All right, man.
All right, Dan.
Thanks.
Another one bites the dust. See you later.
Later, guys.
Is it that witching hour, boys?
Yeah, I'm definitely. This is far beyond what I usually stay up. I've got to wake up at 5. So.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh shit! Yeah, Joe's turning blue.
I'm blue.
Oh, God.
Yeah, man. It was fun hanging out with you guys.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
And if anyone's listening or watching right now, Bill Bradley, who's in the comments right now, is going to be at CritterCon Live, which is an event that I'm putting on. So
yeah, he's going to be on THP tomorrow.
If you would consider buying a ticket, that'd be sweet. Awesome. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Had to put a spiel in there.
Got to do it.
Throw it in.
Plug.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Later, man.
See ya. Bill, we haven't had anybody Billy's had someone blatantly turn down stuff.
I've had a handful of people do that.
I haven't really had anybody flat out tell me no.
So, all right, I'll tell Phil the story because I've texted to you a whole bunch of times. So there's this local guy.
Yeah, I got to get that outlined together. I'm going to get that together tomorrow.
That he does blue tongue skeins. He's done them for 25 years.
Okay.
He's got them figured out. So I'm like, oh, that'd be the perfect local guy. Because my original idea was to go around the show and get local people to help get them exposure, all stuff like that. And I start talking to him, and he's like, yeah, I'm not interested at all in that. I'm like, okay. And he's like, but I'll take your card. And he looks at it, and he's like, okay, well, what's it about? Tell me what it's about. He didn't even know what it was about. And he said, no, I'm not doing that. All right. So I tell him what it is. and all that. And he's like, you know what my problem is with these things? Is that guys always get people that don't have any experience with the species. There's guys that haven't been with the species for, 10, 20 years or whatever. And I look at him and I'm like, that's why I'm talking to you. He's like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. I'm like, I don't know what to say, man.
See, that's funny to me because when I worked in like the magazine world, you got that a lot. And it was like they don't want to contribute, but then you release a new issue and they're like, I really don't like that you did this article on this. And I'm like, sorry. Like we had that where someone complained about a venomous related thing, and I'm like, okay, the door is open for you to write what, like, send us whatever you want. If you feel like there needs to be something that says this was wrong.
It was whack, right? It was a whack article. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was funny. He was complaining about exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, the door's always open if anyone has anything to say. Again, it's free.
That venomous thing was the healer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Henry told me this afternoon. I didn't even bring up the magazine to him, and Henry was like, by the way, loved your article. I'm so happy to know how decided you are on a topic. And I was like, that was the idea of the article, was to be undecided.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that hate mail to come in.
I left it vague on purpose, man. Let people make their own decisions.
Phil's gonna ruffle some feathers.
Whatever. I'm surprised that Red Coastal article didn't get people more going.
Why?
Calling them red hypos. Apparently, that's like a big taboo in the carpet world.
Interesting.
You can't call them red hypos because there's the hypo gene
Okay.
now.
Ah.
Okay.
Hi, Katie.
Hey, Katie.
I gotta go.
Good night.
See y'all
Bye, guys.
later.
Later, guys.